Inside Stone's Gambling Hall in Sacramento, California, you'll find Sammy's Restaurant and Bar. Recognized for its innovative, healthy global cuisine, Sammy's offers menu selections made with local, organic ingredients. Indulgent options like truffle fries, duck tacos, artisan wood-fired pizzas, fresh salads, and more, along with an eclectic selection of craft beers and classic handcrafted cocktails. Plus, with 40 big screen TVs, Sammy's is also the perfect place to catch your favorite game. Satisfy your craving anytime, 24/7, tableside or in the dining room at Sammy's Restaurant and Bar at Stone's Gambling Hall.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to Stone's Live Poker. It is 5-10 Unlimited Hold'em tonight.
Oh my, unlimited?
Unlimited Hold'em.
Wow.
It's a new thing.
Barrels away.
Barrels away. I am Jake Rosenstiel. This is V-Cross Poker.
What's up, guys?
The best. And talk about a mess of a lineup. Jesus.
Right? Oh my gosh, it's super juicy.
Harlan, Nat, Tom, Brian, James, Peter, Zach, 80. Like, what is...
Tom D, guys. Tom
D.
In the house.
Like I said, like Tom Dwan's
It's getting real excited and then just let him down, you know?
Yeah, I'm excited. The game that we had on Monday, the 5-5 game, that was nuts by itself. It got really weird in a couple spots.
Got weird?
It got weird.
What happened?
I just couldn't. I forgot.
Heard rumors,
like I couldn't make sense of poker anymore. Okay, you should be checking back, should be value betting. Like I was like, and no.
It's like when Bart Hansen was in the booth with me, and he was like, "Well, she's gonna." No! Ah! And his head exploded.
Exactly.
Yeah, welcome to Sacramento, guys.
It was a mess. And they say poker's dead.
Oh man, it's not dead here.
Poker is alive and well here. Oh my goodness.
It might be dead somewhere, but not here.
Not here. I'm excited. So 5-10. It's an absolute mess. If all's well, where life and stuff happens, let's get down to the table. Oh God, we're
Sounds
a mess.
good.
Yeah.
My favorite, Harlan in seat 1. Great guy. Very fun. He likes to needle his opponents. Always good to have at the table.
Seat 2, Nat is, I think, turning into an absolute rock star on the stream.
I almost thought you were gonna say rock, and I was like,
not so much. No, the anti-rock.
Yeah.
Nat is he gets into the crazy levels upon levels upon levels. He he has no range.
Right.
But he's not reckless. He's
always aware of what his opponents have seen, and he uses that against them.
Absolutely.
I feel like
he plays a very exploitive strategy. I feel like
exactly.
You might see some things that Nat does and think okay, well, that's not game theory this, game theory that, whatever.
Yeah.
It might drive 6, 7, 8 up the wall, but Nat is a very exploitive type player who thinks on levels that most other players are just not capable of getting on. Right behind him is not Tom Dwan, but that is Tom D. He's in the game. Now, to his benefit, he's got position on Nat and Harlan, two of the most aggressive players that we're going to have in this game.
That is a very good spot to be right there.
But on the downside of Suicide, he's got Brian to his left, who's another player who is capable of mixing up some action.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of gears.
A lot of gears. James, have we had James on the stream?
I don't know, James.
Was James in the 5-5 on Monday? I think James was.
Oh, was he?
I think he was. I think he was in the same game in the same seat. And I'm like, I already forgot about.
You're like deja vu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Deja vu all over again.
Peter, of course,
and
what else is new? Standard.
Peter's life might be made a little bit rough by having Zach. Zach from SAC. He's to his immediate left, seat 7. God, this is a good lineup.
Yeah, seriously. And AD, seriously, seat 8? He's not there right now, but AD, what a beast.
Yeah, this is a mess. I don't know what to do about this. This is gonna be wonderful. And Danny, piece of the furniture, local legend, in seat 9 to kind of round things out. I'd like to see Danny just totally, Susie, you're the best.
I'm gonna finish this sentence. Totally just spaz out, go crazy, start barreling.
Danny's, exactly. Danny's a guy who could really exploit his image.
I agree.
Danny could like fold 4-bet, and I'd probably fold king.
Exactly.
Yeah,
for sure. Very tight image. So we'll see what he does with it tonight.
I'm excited. Shout out to all our regs in the chat. 678, Speak of the Devil, Angry Pollock, Ryan 00714, Watt Bry, Rick and Barstow. God, talk about this lineup being a mess. Look at our chat.
Right?
Jeez.
Veronica and Saxony.
It's like there's like a whole like they like just left like their like 12-step program like together and like so together.
Is this the break of the Gamblers Anonymous session?
We'll just go watch Stones
Live. Or did it just get out? Is that what happened? Yeah, it gets out at 7. Yeah. Perfect.
Perfect timing. Tank X87.
T-Berg. No, just kidding. Tank. I can read, I swear. But I'm reading on a small phone tonight, so...
Life's hard sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
There's AD.
There he is. He's all... I like his little getup tonight. He's got the, like, chains and the backwards hat. I almost didn't recognize him.
He's rocking the spectacles. I love it. And we love it. So like this last 5-5, we had Jerry Cohen, Babies Don't Talk, Billy Cats, Team Billy Cats.
I'm sorry, are you saying words?
I am. I don't know if I'm rambling or talking right now, but like, I love it.
Billy Cats?
Team Billy Cats. You don't follow Billy?
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Marco. Can you fill in the fans?
Right. So
in case they don't know what's
Billy's
going
one of the good guys in poker. One of the legends. Grinder.
Billy.
Yeah. Team Billy Cats.
Like
Jerry. Gerald, Billy. Like.
Oh, Jerry Cohen.
Jerry Cohen.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
God, wow.
I'm sorry. I didn't know about the goat thing.
So yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah, Bill. Yeah, I know Bill.
So we had him in the 5-5 on Monday. And he ran this like sick like 3-bet out of position bluff with like queen deuce off, like super dry bluff like early. I
missed that
anticipating
one.
with like okay, and so like they'll all see this and that'll get all my like made hands paid off later.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that he went card dead for 3.5 hours.
I was gonna say I watched it for about an hour and I didn't really see him playing any hands, and I was like, oh, what's Bill doing?
Stream shuts off and Billy makes like flops like 2 sets and stacks like the world.
That's hilarious.
Heaps.
Wow. Sometimes, your stream plan just doesn't work out.
Yeah. You gotta have a plan. All right, we got cards in the air. Levels.
We got suited cards. We got face cards.
5-10, unlimited hold'em. Action, it folds around to Harlan on the button with the jacket of clubs.
He makes it 35. He gets both blinds to call. Tom has ace-queen in the big blind.
9-4 Trey Rainbow.
Nat has 2 cards.
He has straight blockers though.
Straight blockers,
the old 10-5er.
True. Old 10-5 ball.
Checks to Harlan. Now here's the bright side. Like a lot of players, the 9-3-4 is going to miss most players' opening ranges. The bright side about this game, or the difficult spot that these players are going to find themselves in, is that with enough aggressive, laggy players in this game, the 9-4-3 doesn't. You just never know. You're flipping a coin whether or not it smacked them or not.
Yeah, that whole this misses my opponent's range thing. Maybe kind of out
throw that out the window
tonight.
Yeah. Now Tom check raised the flop.
Harlan turned some clubs with his over.
Tom continues the story here. I love this.
I like it. 400.
Tom.
I don't know Tom. Do you know Tom?
We had Tom on one of the previous streams. He might have been on the last 5-5. Mm-hmm. He sat kind of snug. I'm judging by the way I'm seeing this hand play out, he might have gone back and reevaluated some of the things that he's done, or maybe it's the way he's perceived. And I definitely think he's exploiting his image right now.
Nice. And Harlan just flat calls with. It doesn't look like Harlan has that much behind. It looked like Harlan might just have 235 behind, which I don't. This seems kind of weird.
Now Harlan rivers the jack, making him the best hand.
He kind of has to call here, right? With the pot odds he's getting. What?
He dumps it. Okay, so. Once
Did
again.
you just not see that as an out?
I don't think he did. I think we thought he was drawing to clubs and clubs only because I mean, for Tom to check raise the 9-4-3, what are you putting Tom?
And there's no draws really.
Yeah, it's not like
he's not like
really
he's doing that with
board.
3-5, right?
No.
I feel like he could do it against Harlan though with like ace-9.
Check raise for value. I mean.
Against Harlan?
Quit giving away all my games here. like. I'm not saying you can check raise top for value here. I'm just.
No, I mean I'm just saying. Obviously, it looks like a set or an overpair, but you river the jack there. I mean, the board is so. Like there's nothing
discoordinated.
there. Yeah, there's not much there, and you just river top pair.
If there's no
almost 5-1.
If there's no draws that he's check raise semi bluffing.
Yeah.
Is he really going that far with ace-9?
But Harlan's beating 10s. If you're beating 10s, how do you fold? Getting 4.5 to 1.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if he was gonna fold that river, he should have just folded the turn. Can we agree on that?
I think we can definitely agree.
Okay. All right, as it is, another uncoordinated flop. Couple diamonds, Jack 3 deuce.
And this game's gonna be really weird. This game, I mean, because
mystery cards.
All these boards that are generally going to come down to like uncoordinated, where we would normally rationalize, okay, well you can't put them on, this or that, like with this lineup, you're shooting sharks in a barrel.
Sharks in a barrel.
Right? Like, what do you do here? Like, all right, 9-4-3 rainbow.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, there's going to be so many levels, so much leveling going on in this game.
He could have King 4 here.
Exactly. He could have King 4 or top set. I don't know. That's why when you river top pair, you gotta just call.
Yeah. Zach from stack, sitting deep, a lot of white chips. I love it. And
Nice.
we love it.
80.
So Zach makes it 35 to go. 80 comes along with the Queen 9 of Hearts.
Obvi. Zach has 10s. Harlan's gonna come along, it looks like. Hold on. Did I imagine that? James and Nat both with Jack 10.
80 flops a flush draw.
80 ain't going nowhere. He's gonna bet 50. Hold on.
And Zach is quick to check fold 10s.
Wow, okay. Does that surprise you?
You know what? Multi-way like that with an ace on board. I mean, you have backdoor hearts. I don't hate check folding, but I'm not in love with it either. But
I'm surprised he didn't at least call 1 street against AD, but he's also out of position.
Exactly.
In a four-way pot, AD should actually have an ace here.
Yeah.
He could obviously have a flush draw, but then you have to continue the hand against a very aggressive player out of position with 10s on an ace-high board.
Exactly. I think if you're in position and someone leads into you, I think you're definitely calling 10s there with backdoor hearts. Out of position in a multi-way pot there, it's just so difficult to not put your opponent on an ace.
Yeah.
Betting into a multi-way pot like that.
For sure.
Nat has a real hand here, which is dangerous in itself. He's got jacks.
And it was limped?
And it was limped on a 6-high board. James has a gut shot.
Who, was that a straddle? No. Oh, it's 5-10. Just kidding. So I guess Nat was going for a limp raise or something? A little trap action?
And no one thinks Nat has jacks here.
No.
James improves to open-ended on the turn.
He's gonna check. I wouldn't expect James to be check folding here.
No.
So it's either call or check raise. So he's gonna call, hope for a 4 or a 9.
9!
Pink! Pink ball.
And he checks over to Nat. What a sicko.
Trying to trap Nat, trying to get him to bet. He wants to allow Nat to keep bluffing if he's bluffing. But Nat had a real hand.
It's funny that Nat, very perceptive there to check that card back. I don't know. I have a hard time feeling if I'm in Nat's position there with an overpair, the way this hand was played out, that to feel that I'm not good there. Would my opponent really check 2-pair plus there? Because so often it just gets checked back. All the 1-pair hands get checked back. And it's hard to put Nat on a big hand. And if he's got tens plus, if he's got an overpair to the board, maybe you can count on the value bet. But it's hard the way the hand was played out to think that he's got that. So, and Nat, he knows that I know that, whatever like that. If you're in Nat's seat there and you can't think, okay, well, he doesn't know that I have a big overpair here to the board, so he probably wouldn't be checking 2-pair plus.
He might know something about James that we don't know. He's also, like we said earlier, very aware of his own image.
So 6-7-8 says Nat's check wasn't as bad as the call and turn out of position with open-ended straight draw. I love 6-7-8.
6-7-8, what up? Master C, welcome. Woman Rider, Plastica, I'm guessing. Yeah, she's in there. Welcome, everyone.
And Zach.
Welcome, friends.
Zach from Zach. That's another 3-bet to 155 with 7-8 of clubs.
Such a good name. He's staying balanced. He's gonna show everyone.
Shows them both.
So you guys were supposed to. I was supposed to get the showdown with this hand, but since it didn't work out, I'm just gonna show you. I don't want that one to go to waste. Then I'm gonna be confused because I don't know who saw and who didn't. And this is what goes through my mind.
Yeah, right.
I'm just gonna show you, make sure everyone knows. Watt Bryce said he's going to change his name to Johnny Walker Blue. That's cool. I like it. I approve.
The Mood Show.
Mood Show.
So there's the spots, you find yourself in, you see Zach showing the hand there that he 3-bet the 7-8 suited. And he's showing it, and like I said, Zach is a player who's going to probably, okay, I'm showing this, and he'll apply that in later hands. Okay, well, they saw me 3-bet this. And I find that oftentimes where I get stuck in spots where, or I don't know if I'm stuck in a spot where, hey, if I get 3-bet or something like that, we're is this guy 3-betting me because he saw me open this clunker earlier? Yeah. Or and because I went to showdown for some bastard of a reason.
So Tom opens this pot to 35, gets a couple callers. Ace Queen. Brian outflops him. He's gonna check call 50. So Brian has a second pair here. He bet for value. He's going to check back. I like that check. 8 of Hearts on the river. Kind of a scary card. Yeah, it's just going to check down, and Brian's going to have the best hand.
Scooper.
Yeah, I agree. And I think...
Projecting your thinking on another player.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to level yourself upon level... then maybe you just shouldn't do it.
Yeah. So I can clearly not choose the wine in front of me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You show. Okay, you 3-bet to 155 with 7-8 suited. They're playing the drinking game, right, guys? Take a shot every time I say suited. Or you say suited. They're getting wasted. But you do that, and then somebody 3-bets you or 4-bets you or something, and you're that's in your head. You're hold on, are they just doing it because I showed that? But then you're also maybe giving them too much credit, certain people.
And when in reality they're just oh, I have 2 shinies and I love my shinies.
Yeah, depending what game you're playing, most of your opponents are not thinking about that really. And you're just kind of projecting your own thinking and you kind of get yourself in trouble, I think.
So
Jake's the king of it.
I can project my thinking onto the fishiest of fish. It's wonderful. So I have a small group of friends that I bounce hands off of and talk about stuff with, and the overwhelming feedback that I get is just stop. Just stop.
Just
this game's too easy versus relative to the size of the field.
You're making it too hard.
Just bet your better hands and let them spew. 10 comes off on the turn, making Harlan straight.
So there was a raise here must have been to around 50. 3 ways to the. I thought it was 3 ways to the flop. Moving on now.
Yeah. If this is a 3-bet pot, I mean, Harlan's not going to fold, but I don't think he wants to play a huge pot here.
Yeah.
With the idiot into the straight, as we would say. Never mind.
Nat flops middle pair, backdoor diamonds. Yeah, I mean, Harlan's not going to go crazy with the low end here.
The ace doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change anything. The king is still a better straight. And he's going to go for some value here.
Kind of a little defensive blocker bet.
Yeah. A little blocker bet. He might get value out of 2 pair hands.
Oh, well. Wow.
But,
yes.
And that's the problem with doing blocker bets against somebody like Nat.
How does he not have
Someone who
wow,
can
Harlan
rebluff.
makes call.
And Harlan calls. Sick, sick, sick. He was prepared to muck it. Wow. We got a poker game in the house. We have a real poker game going on, guys. Buckle up. Don't go anywhere.
How do you not put him on a king there?
I mean, that's the thing. He knows that Nat is capable of raising a blocker bet.
Yeah,
He knows Nat knows it's a blocker bet, and he just gets max value out of his hand right there. That's
so sick.
so sick. So sick.
So sick.
Oh my. Wow. Angry Pollock said, "Is Jake real?"
No.
Unclear. Wow, that was pretty crazy.
Master C says, wait, 6K? Yeah, Zach from Stacks rolling 6K deep. Playing 600 bigs deep in the 5-10 here.
Wow, that was super sick. That was a sick hand.
It really was.
Write that one down.
Except that's one of the, I mean, this game's gonna play that way. It's I don't want to say this game's gonna play like, you know, like a home game, but I think you're gonna see a lot of those kind of levels where you're like, okay, I know this guy, and screw it, kick rocks.
Sorry, what?
Marco. Suitered. For you kids at home.
Ship it. So a $20 raise. Everyone's in there. King 9-6, 2 diamonds on the flop.
AD flops top 2 and bets right out at it.
Nice.
Gets a call from Danny, top pair. Drawing dead to the jack.
Deuce on the turn, not going to change anything. I would think that Danny would call one more bet.
Absolutely.
You know, he suspects he has to have the best hand. He should be good if a jack rolls off. Maybe AD's betting with a combo draw or something. Queen on the river. AD's gonna check it. Yeah, and Danny's gonna check back. AD's gonna take this one down. I feel like Danny probably wasn't gonna call another bet anyway. Yeah?
I was gonna say, what do you think of AD's check there?
Maybe he's thinking that Danny could possibly have like missed diamonds. Maybe, you know, he's keeping bluffs in his range.
I'll lay it up. You slam it down.
All right, cool.
Kinda,
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I agree with you. I mean, it's hard to get value from like King 10 there. King Queen snaps you and beats you.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know if King 10 King Jack calls.
And he shouldn't have Ace King there. So
exactly.
it's like,
in a non-3-bet body should not have Ace King.
So few hands he's getting value from.
Yeah, but you can beat busted straights, busted diamonds that aren't going to call you anyway. But
yeah,
they might try to bluff river. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the way AD plays a hand.
Yeah. I mean, especially with the sleeve tattoos, you know. Good river check.
Are they playing the 7 deuce?
What?
They're not. Damn it.
Should be.
Do we need 7 deuce in this game?
I mean, honestly, it would just make it even crazier, right? Like the levels. So Harlan raises to 55 on the button.
A lot of diamonds go to war.
Suited.
And Brian's
8-6 just outflops him. Harlan's smart enough to check back, and Brian has to suspect that his hand is good here. It's probably going to be check calling.
Wow, what?
Or not. I mean, not like he's check calling 3 streets, but if it checks through on the flop and the queen pairs the turn, I feel like
Check call, check call.
check call, check call. Yeah, probably. Check call, reassess river, fold if an ace peels off and Harlan goes crazy.
Yeah. Because, so speaking of the 7 deuce game,
okay,
one of my
whatever.
favorite like moments or spots in Stones Life Poker has been they were playing the 7 deuce game, and I want to say it was 5-10, and it might have been the 10-25. I'm not sure, but Nat, super rock star Nat,
Yeah.
he's in the game. But they're playing the game with a prerequisite, which I love, is that you have to. There has to be X amount of dollars in the flop or in the pot, and you have to see a flop. Which I think it forces you to like really play poker. You can't just like bomb pre and take down the 7 dB game.
Say that again. It has to be how much in the pot?
Whatever it was.
Okay,
X amount of dollars.
I do like that. So you can't just jam and you either have aces or 7 deuce.
Exactly.
So that messes me up.
Exactly. So you have to like, play poker to some degree. And
That's good.
Nat, in a game where they're playing the 7 deuce game, decides to cold 4-bet pre 7 deuce, and like not in a spot where he's like, oh, I'm doing this because we're playing the 7 deuce game. He just like, I see a spot, I think there's an opening, and I'm gonna shoot the gap and exploit these guys right now. It was sick.
Wow. So in this hand, Zach raised the straddle to 60, got 3 callers. Zach has queens, king 5 deuce flop. Harlan.
And there's a rose in Spanish Harlan.
Harlan gets there and bets.
Because he's Harlan.
And Nat looks him up with ace 5. 8 of diamonds on the turn.
And Nat. God, I love it.
So this is amazing. Harlan versus Nat. Wow.
Diamonds get there. If you're Harlan, how do you continue?
I mean,
Your only rational is it's Nat.
right, but at the same time, Nat's capable. If he's bluffing now, he can bluff the river too. I think Harlan suspects that he has the best hand still, but it's so hard to continue. And Nat knows that. Nat called with ace 5 there. Second pair with, top kicker, knowing he had the diamond bluff outs.
Oh, and Nat shows one.
Always got to have the bluff outs.
You have to.
And he lets him know he didn't have it. Amazing.
But this goes back to the
I
power
hope he didn't
of...
show the 5, because then it could have been a set,
It got weird.
It could have got weird.
But the power of position here,
Oh, yeah.
and the spots that you're going to find yourself in when you're in front of aggressive opponents like Nat, like Harlan, like Zach, Brian, Eddie. It's not like it's not just like you're not just like calling 3-10 there to see like, hey, is my king good right now? It's
Right.
it's the $640 river bet you're going to have to call off as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you really want to play put another
And the
$1,000
problem
in?
is, you know that Nat is capable of doing that on a bluff and with the nuts. He's so balanced, and you know you're going to be put to the test there. So you don't want to just torch $300. I mean, I love torching $300, but
Yeah, but we're
maybe
different.
Harlan didn't feel like it. Harlan loves it too, but maybe he just didn't feel like it right then.
In a different spot. He'll torch off 300 versus Brian. That's
Good
one,
assessment.
yeah.
Yeah, torch it against Brian, but not Nat. Well, Brian's a super nice guy, so.
All right,
So
we
that
got
was a lot of
multi-way
sixes. The 7 disappeared under the 6. That was weird. 7-6-6 here. 120 in the pot. James is going to bet this. Pretty good flop for the big blind
action. The mucho.
in general. He's going to lead out there and take it down. I like that lead into 3 people. Hey guys, I must have it, right? You guys don't have any of that. Just fold.
Okay, so this
Free money.
is me immediately like getting on one of those like projecting thinking levels. Like,
Okay, yeah.
Like, is he ever leading a 6 there?
Maybe.
Really?
Some Some people do.
Some people do. No, I got messed up in a.
Especially into aggressive opponents.
So I got mixed up in a home game that I'm positive that you've played in, where that exact scenario came down, where it was like 4-4-X.
Okay.
And the blind like
4-4-2 or something.
Yeah, like 4-4-3, 4-4-2,
Okay.
4-4-3. And the blind leads out for like a pot-sized bet. And I'm like, okay, well, obviously he never has.
Pot size seems weird.
Yeah, he never has a 4 here. And I was like,
were the 2 of a suit or anything, or rainbow?
No, it was rainbow, like
Okay.
4-4-X rainbow,
Yeah.
4-4-3 rainbow.
Unless
and
you just called pre-flop with like 5s or 6s and just goes crazy on flop.
Yeah, that was weird.
Anyway.
So like, I'm like, if I'm not mistaken, I'm on the button with like, and I was like open-ended with a backdoor suit. Mm-hmm. So, and or no, I'm a gut shot with a backdoor suit, and like he's never super strong here, so
yeah.
I'm just gonna go like raise, like bet jam.
Okay, so it's always good to have a plan, but sometimes you have to veer off of that plan, given new information. Jake.
He had ace 4. 4-4-3. He like just like leads for a pot size bet with on 4-4-3 with ace 4. Like.
All right. After the stream, I need to know who did that.
I'll tell you. You'll know exactly. Like.
I could probably guess.
Yeah. Okay, but that's when like so.
It's probably the same person. I'm like, he must have 7 deuce or something.
So
no,
that's why,
aces.
yeah. I mean, leading 10-4 in the 7-6-6. I mean, I'd almost be more inclined to like put him like a player like on like a 7x hand, like quote unquote, like seeing where he's at, or an open-ended draw, or like pair of 5s, pair of 6s.
So then you want to exploit that and you raise, and then they just have like 6-7, like inexplicable.
Yeah. Player bombing the flop with a boat because he's worried about the flush draw.
That's hilarious. So Harlan opens the pot to 35 with 9-5 suited. I like it. Brian 3-bets with 2-3, same suit. Did that just happen?
It did.
Did I just make that up?
Well, you can't flat 3 high profitably.
That is so true.
So your only option is to 3-bet.
Especially when your opponent has higher spades.
Yeah.
You gotta just stick it. I love it.
3-betting 3 high.
I'm gonna channel Veronica. I love me some Brian.
Speaking
love
of
me
the
some
devil.
Brian. He has kind eyes.
His kind eyes.
Yeah. Waprai, bedtime? What? Waprai has like a real job. It's weird.
Day jobbers. Yuck.
Puke.
Suited.
6, so
I just said
we've
it
already.
to get him to
I mean,
barrel.
yeah. Let's get them to drink.
Yeah.
So just to recap, we just saw Harlan open to 35 with 9-5 suited spades.
Gets 3-bet by 3 high spades,
Yeah,
and we got a game.
we got a real poker game breaking out here.
These are like one of those weird games. You gotta have the bankroll and/or stomach to just like flop top pair or second pair and a good kicker and just hold on
Yeah.
for the ride.
Right.
And because the draw is gonna get there, and you just gotta like call
And
down
you know your
anyway.
opponent is capable of repping the draw when they don't have it. It's just a pretty sick game. Everyone's barreling salads and water, like, it's a rough game.
That's hard.
So $20 pre-flop here. Ace 8-4, 2 spades. Harlan with second pair here.
And Brian's gonna bet his 3s. AD comes along with an inside straight draw.
I would guess after getting called in 2 spots, he's not gonna go crazy on this turn.
Deuce. Spade comes off, giving Harlan a spade draw to go along with his middle pair. AD
Although
picks up a pair.
Brian has blockers to 3-5.
He does. 8 on the river,
Checks around.
and Harlan's tripped up.
Wow. He's gonna bet it. Hope someone has an ace and decides to look him up here. Or rebluff. Not rebluff, but you know. He's against people who are capable of raising here on a bluff, so good spot to lead out. You're
That's
not getting
105
called
in a $3
by,
pot. Takes it down.
you know, deuce high. So we got some stacks in this game. Zach with 6K. He's like, I want to make sure I have the table covered, just in case.
Just in case a pot breaks out.
Just in case I river the nuts and get paid. Good night, Woman Rider. Good night, Wapri. Maybe she was just saying good night to Wapri. I don't know. Anyway, it's a good night.
The game's
What's up,
playing
everyone?
5, 10, 20 right now.
Is it a round of straddle or something?
It would definitely appear so.
Okay, yeah, I thought the last hand was limped around with 20, so that makes sense.
Nat completes a big blind, ace 4 of clubs, ace king 9. Nat's got top pair, backdoor clubs. Tom makes second pair.
And
Not a
Nat's
bad
just
kicker.
gonna lead out here. Probably a good lead out, check turn.
Tom turns 2 pair.
Not a good turn for Nat. Especially when Tom calls on the flop, he has to know that that's a very bad turn for him. And he just gets away from it.
Good fold.
And again, these players are very aware of position. You know, sometimes you see a game play out and it's like, people aren't that
clicking
aware
buttons.
of
Veronica and
clicking
friends, you can say it.
like perhaps next Wednesday we'll
Perhaps
see
next Wednesday.
some interesting things.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, you can tell these players are very aware of position. Not, you know, they're thinking about future streets, not just this street. Do I have the best hand?
Speaking of Veronica and friends,
Yeah?
if I'm not mistaken, word on the street is that Cobra, local legend, is playing the next Veronica and Friends game.
Oh, really?
Fresh off his 3rd place finish in the WPT in Reno.
HPT.
Same thing.
Same thing.
The Elemento P. The XYZ.
It was fresh in my head because I just played with Cobra and just talked to him about that. So.
In the acronym poker tournament.
The 3-letter poker tournament.
Yeah.
So original.
Fresh off a 20K cash out of Reno.
Yeah.
It's gonna come spew in the Veronica and Friends game.
And word on the street is that I might be in that game.
Oh. Lordy, lordy, lord.
Oh, lordy, lordy. Me and Cobra might be barreling on camera. Barrels away. I don't know. Cobra loves to 3-bet me out of the blinds. And I've decided that I'm over it.
Yeah.
You know?
We're not gonna take it.
No. So I'm planning on like.
The problem is that you're good enough to fold.
I know that's the problem, but I'm just not folding anymore. I refuse.
And Plastica says that Yo took 10th in that HPT. I think that was in one of the preliminary events.
Oh, okay, cool.
In the
Daniela
took
was
a
up there?
10th.
Nice.
Yeah, she final tabled the 50K, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Go Daniela,
had a good little run.
friend of the stream. So Peter makes it 35 to go, gets 4 callers, ace 9-4, rainbow. Harlan with the best hand, checks around.
7 of hearts comes off on the turn, giving Zach
The
flush draw
nuts,
to
I'm
go.
just kidding.
Yeah, the nuts.
3%. Brian has a better flush draw, and Zach feels like he likes his hand here, but he's
Peter
pretty
leads out
dominated.
his gut shot.
Interesting.
A little bit of image exploitation, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Peter has a pretty tight
And
image. Zach's
Zach
gonna
gets
get caught in
called.
the middle here. I mean, if you're Harlan in this spot, you can't love it. Like, Peter leads the turn, and Zach
it's different.
calls.
Yeah.
It seems like a strong bet and a pretty strong call. You can't love having ace-10 here. And Harlan's just gonna fold one card.
And you know what? I mean, we can see that Harlan right now has the best hand, but like long term, I mean, Harlan's beating ace-8.
I mean, it's such a disciplined fold.
That's
Harlan.
it.
Like, he should never, not never, but he should rarely have the best hand there.
Rarely.
Especially on the river.
Exactly. Like, what good river cards are there?
Yeah. And Nat turned open-ended with 8-6. He's thinking about getting in there. I wonder if he's sensing some weakness with Peter's lead here. Okay, he's just gonna call. He's on the button, he's in position, hoping for a 5 or a 10.
And Brian folds better hearts.
Wow. I'm surprised Brian didn't get in there.
And Zach goes from 3% to 81%. And now River's 2-pair.
That is so crazy.
And it makes Peter straight. Peter semi-bluffed a gut shot on the turn.
Wow.
Buries it and checks it over to Zach.
Oh, sick. Talk about image exploitation here. I mean, because those people would normally raise that kind of lead there.
Now Zach,
but they didn't because it was Peter.
I love Zach's check here. He's checking to Nat.
Oh my gosh.
And Nat stuffs in a lot of chips. Jesus Christ. God damn. Nat at 600.
What?
Makes nearly a pot-sized bet here.
Wow.
Peter, all sorts of nutted.
Oh my gosh.
After Zach
so sick, and Peter
checks
just
here,
sticks it.
You can never try to like suck him in because he should never be that strong here.
And it's only like about 600 more.
A little under 5 to call, and Nat's got to fold a pair.
And Zach gets out cheap with his check there. I felt like he was in check call mode, like he was gonna check call a bet from Nat, maybe.
Absolutely.
And as soon as he's just in the perfect spot there. Once Peter goes all in, it's just an easy fold for him, and he gets away from 2-pair easy. And Nat just stepped in it here, and he knows it, and he's just gonna
save a little face.
Save a little face, a little fake tank fold. Pretty sick. Peter, nice.
God.
Jeez, Peter just played perfect. He's gonna get a count and everything, man. He can't call.
No.
He knows Peter's never doing this on a bluff. Yeah.
He has no bluffs.
It's okay. We're not mad at you, Nat. We love
you, Nat.
We love it. We love you. It's cool. What a fool. Yeah, that was a sick hand.
What is Nat? Tell me this is...
Maybe he's just... I mean, you can't bluff call, Nat. You can't bluff call. Tell him not to bluff call, Jake.
Don't do it, Nat.
Don't bluff call. So sick. What a hand. We see some serious high-level poker going on. I'm not sure what Nat's thinking here. Angry Pollock said maybe our graphics are wrong. What this is? I agree with that assessment.
No.
I mean, what could he beat here? Missed hearts? Even if Peter has missed hearts, he has an ace in his hand probably, right?
Has to.
This is never a bluff.
Not with his sizing.
He leads the turn. Gets called
that's
twice.
Throwing Nat off.
Check shoves river. I mean, it is weird. Maybe.
It's a line. Is what hands Peter leading the turn with? You got to put Peter on some sort of like pocket eights that he was just trying to steal the flop or steal the pot with on the turn.
Ace 8 of
Ace
hearts.
8. It's
hard to put him on an 8 because he has an 8 in his hand, but It just seems weird that he's thinking.
You're
about
losing
this.
the 10-8. That's the other thing. Like, I mean, he might have 10-8.
Yeah, if it's a bluff,
but
it's
he
probably
wouldn't.
beating
But I don't
you.
think he. But he'd more be inclined to check call bluffs with 10-8 than check. Like he has no bluffs here.
I can't think of a single hand he's bluffing here.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate, and it's just I'm not very good at it right now. Not on this hand.
5-6 got there. 10-6. Even if he has missed hearts, he probably has the best hand. Like it's.
Nat
9-10
might be
hearts.
thinking like the only way he can do this is with. Oh Jesus Christ!
Show us your cards.
He
What does
did.
he have? Does he have set?
No.
He really has 8-6 and he's just showing that? Confused. Did he really just show 8-6?
Okay, so devil's advocate once again. So Peter's got to, or Nat might think feel like Peter can only check raise the nuts here, right? But would he really bet the turn multi-way with a gutter ball against these players? If he thinks he's less likely to do that, he might think, even though like his sizing has like no fold equity, that Nat has so many just dry bluffs that he can out dry bluff him. Because like that
Okay, I see what
sizing,
you
so
mean, I
like
see what you
Nat might feel like okay because he would never check raise for value here without the Jack 10, but he wouldn't lead the turn
But would he not with like
like Jack 10 of hearts.
Ace-8 of hearts?
I don't think he would even lead Ace 8 of hearts. I mean, well, but I don't think he would check raise. Would he check raise? I don't know. Once again, like Nat's rationale might be just that, where like for him to check raise here, he's got to be nutted, which means, but there's no way he would lead the turn with Jack 10. So he's just exploiting his image, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. It probably did. Like it wasn't adding up.
It didn't.
To Nat.
So then Renat, like it just at the end of the day, it just didn't make sense.
But at the same time, like what are you beating?
7. Maybe he leads like 7-5.
Yeah, you're right.
A
He's
7,
beating 7-5.
King 7, 7x. Give me some 7s. I don't.
So Zach raises to 60 with Ace Queen. Peter calls with Ace Jack. Flops top. Checks around on the flop. Peter's gonna lead the turn. Man, nice pot for Peter.
My brain hurts.
Sickness.
Eldar. Speaking of
Eldar,
the game
what
that you
up?
want to get, a game you want to get into,
Right?
this is the smorgasbord.
Oh my, this game is sickness.
We got a lot of problems.
Juicy. So Peter bets the turn gets called. And bets 140 on the river, hoping, and Zach looks
Zach's
him
gonna
up.
call.
What happened to Peter's image? Like, he didn't actually change the way he was playing, he just started getting paid off.
Peter must have showed a lot of bluffs right before the stream started. Like,
Yeah,
what the
maybe
hell?
Peter just went crazy right before the stream for the first hour and just like bluff after bluff showing, and now everyone's just tilted, like
He
looking
took
Peter
the
up.
Jerry Cohen line. I'm going to 3-bet some clunkers early and get my nuts paid off later.
Everyone's just-
Except he made some nuts where our friend Billy Katz didn't.
So sick.
So sick.
How does Peter just keep getting his opponent to put him on 7 high?
Yeah.
What is this? Wow, so crazy. But Monday night, Peter was in the game, and he did raise. What was it? He raised the turn on a bluff. He like checked back the flop, raised the turn on a bluff for like 550, and then he checked back the river when he
Bricked off.
he bricked off. Yeah. But still,
I don't know, man.
and his river barrel would have worked. It was against Matt H. Matt H turn 2 pair with ace 3.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I talked to Matt about that hand.
Yeah,
That was a
it was
weird
an
spot.
ace, queen, 10 flop.
Yeah.
3 on turn. So 35 to go here. 7-5 versus 6-4 suited. 8-8-5 flop. Zach
something for
flops the
everyone.
best of it. Harlan ain't going nowhere.
Inside straight draw, backdoor hearts. Raise Harlan.
And he picks up hearts on the turn.
Zach check called $100 with a pair of 7s here.
So Harlan in position, and he bet 100 on the flop.
Don't lift now.
He picks up more equity on the turn. Might as well barrel. Might as well barrel because you can't beat 6-7, you know. So Harlan continues here for 225, and Zach's gonna check call again.
Hearts.
Suspecting he has the best hand, and he was right. And Harlan gets there with the hearts on the river. So sick.
550,
This
575.
game is insane. So Zach checks again, and it just feels like Zach wants to call.
The problem for Zach is
what does Harlan have here?
The 6-7 got there.
Oh, that is, yeah. Although he has a 7 in his hand. So
Diamonds got busted. Yeah, it's harder.
6-7, but still.
Yeah.
Diamonds miss. Harlan could have missed diamonds. Could have a couple overs, but if he has like a 9.
Harlan can also have like quad 8s here.
Exactly.
Harlan can have like 8-10, Jack 8.
Yeah. And again, we see this leveling war, you know?
We're talking about calling down a
Two people.
$600 river bet with a pair of 5s and a 7 kicker.
I don't think he's gonna do it, but he's capable of it, you know? And Harlan's capable of having air here. I think that was a bad enough river, though, for him.
Yeah.
You know, once Harlan bets flop and turn, the 9 of hearts is not what he wanted to see there.
No.
I think if it's a total brick, Harlan might get a call.
Yep.
And then it might have been correct. So what'd you have? Yeah. Sick.
And speaking of Matt H, he's in the game.
Alrighty.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. Wow, this game just keeps getting sicker and sicker. Wow.
So we might have a quarter straddle here if that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, 80 straddles for 25. That he might have opened 25 with the king 9 of clubs. 80 is that 6 to open that light under the gun.
Oh yeah.
No, 80 straddled.
I was gonna say there was a $20 straddle on.
80 straddled for a
And it
quarter.
was this round, so I guess.
Here we go. Ace, king, 7, 2 spades. Brian flops a pair of aces. 80 makes his king. And Zach is going to lead spades. Nat's got a gutter.
What a game. So AD still has a few players behind him, and he's going to get away from
I like
the
the
second
fold.
pair, yeah. Long term, very good fold.
Nat's going to call with a gut shot.
And that's going to bring Brian along with top pair.
Wow.
And he's going to turn trips here. He's got to suspect he has the best hand now. And it checks to Brian. Yeah? Oh, it's on net. Wow. Sick.
Nat grabs chips, looks like
So
210.
does he just think that neither of his opponents has an ace here?
And what do you think, like Brian? If you think Brian might be overcalling spades and Zach might have led with a king,
That's the only way it gets through.
yeah, a little creative. Brick City River.
And Brian's in position.
Now here's the thing:
here.
if you're Nat, if Brian has spades, you have busted spades beat with your queen high here.
Right.
Unless you like river's like a 6 or
Unless he
has like a
has a
7,
seven or
6 or
six.
7, yeah. I don't
Love it.
love it, but then again, I don't like check calling either. So like, I mean, if your opponent has busted spades, Yeah, I guess you can get value from most space, but I mean, you really want to be check calling queen high there.
So maybe lead, and if you get raised, just fold.
Yeah. So it's Brian makes a call. Matt knows that's no good.
Yeah, good spot for Brian there to just call turn, call river.
So
It would have been interesting to see a spade on the river, because you know Nat's gonna blast a spade.
Yeah. So, so if you're Nat there, I don't hate the betting there, queen high. I mean, yeah, you beat busted spades unless your opponent paired. But that said, if your opponent did have a pair, let's say 7-8 of spades, whatever, 6x of spades, then they probably fold there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not really looking for value there. We're getting better to fold, and I don't necessarily know that if you check there that your opponent is, the way the hand plays out, if your opponent's bluffing spades. I mean, he can be, but do we really want to be check calling queen high there? I think I'd almost rather take the bet line and every now and then you get a pair of 6s or 7s to fold than try to be check calling queen high for value. Or, I mean, the only other way you can play it there is to either hope it goes check, check, and you're good, or hope that...
But that seems unlikely.
That seems unlikely.
7-6 deuce of hearts, all hearts.
Yeah, check folding is the other option. That's
flop?
it. Yeah, some boards you just have to play the board and say I can't get folds, and once I have a check, I can't call.
So Zach flops a flush here with a straight flush redraw. Peter actually with a higher flush draw with the 10 in his hand. So Zach bet 105. Almost a full pot bet there. And everyone folded.
So then we're going back to that previous hand, 6, 7, 8 points out that both rangers have folded ace, x, and king x of hands. Seems like a check fold exploitively. Yeah, I don't know if I can hero call queen high there. Like, I mean, yes, you're beating spades, but
I just feel like it's I don't know, like in the long term, are you gonna make money betting there on that river?
No.
And probably not check calling either.
No.
I don't know. I think once my opponent calls on that turn, I probably just
And he
check
overcalled
any
the
non-10
flop.
river.
That's the thing, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think it's just like a
Operation Nevermind.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good term.
Yeah.
We tried. Give up on the river.
So, $20 straddles in effect. Zach opens to 60 with the
Nice.
queen deuce.
Gets 3 callers. Harlan comes along with 5 deuce offsuit. Why not?
Matt defends a big blind with queen 10 of hearts and flops open-ended. AD makes a pair of 9s and leads into it. I would expect Matt to flat here and do nothing more. You can't imagine he's got a lot of fold equity. Operation Nevermind.
Wrong.
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 And Matt puts in the raise.
I mean, it's hard for AD to have like a really strong jack here.
We saw AD lead top 2 earlier on king.
Yeah, I'm just saying because he just called. Zach made it 60, right?
Zach made it 60.
He was in the small blind. Yeah, 80's in the small blind.
If 80's defending hands
flat, like king jack for sure.
If 80's defending hands like 9s, calling hands with 9-7, just like we saw the hand with the king 9 earlier, and leading top 2, he can easily be defending jack 9 there, or even pocket 5s, and be leading as well. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't expect to have a lot of fold equity there, with 80 leading into multiple opponents there when he was not the original aggressor.
But I think also Matt doesn't want to open himself up to be exploited by the people behind him. Like if 80 leads, he could be leading pretty wide. Matt just flats,
and then
looks kind of weak.
and then Zach pounces.
Zach makes it 280.
And Matt's put in his
bad
spot. Yeah. All right.
Make sure you click that follow button if you have not already. The heart.
No, I hate it. No, I hate it because if Matt had pocket fives, so Matt's not
I
raising.
thought you hated the heart button. I was like,
No, never mind. Screw the heart button. No, if Matt had pocket fives, is Matt doing raising there with pocket fives with the original aggressor still behind him? Jack 9-5 rainbow. Let's say Matt defended pocket fives. All right then.
But maybe ace jack, jack 9.
The odd thing is by raising there, he might be capping his range by raising actually, which is kind of a weird thing to say.
That's actually true, yeah. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
So I can clearly not choose the wine in front of me. Like levels.
Levels on levels on levels.
Tom puts in a 3-bet to 230 with the ace king.
AD, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on, what?
Wait, what? Marco.
AD calls and Harlan folds. I'm liking the discipline out of Harlan tonight. He's mixing it up, man. I really like it. 9-5-5, a couple spades. You know, I feel like AD has to give Tom credit here. Tom's leading this board.
He really is only. Yeah, he really should be only. I mean,
over pairs and ace king. I think AD's capable of floating here, but
that's what's sick is that he is.
Yeah.
I got backdoor spades, I got backdoor straight.
But he can't love it though. I mean, if he turns a queen, if he turns a 10, he doesn't, you know, and he's facing another bet on the turn, he pretty much just has to fold. And he just gets away from it. I've seen some discipline out of AD too.
Absolutely.
Because we've definitely seen him be a little more on the wild side.
I keep thinking about that raise by Matt. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I get what you're saying. You don't want to leave yourself open, you know, to getting raised by the original aggressor. At the same time, like you would never, you would never do that with jacks 9. Well, one, he never has jacks, but like like 9s or 5s. I don't think you ever do that. I don't know if you do that. I mean, maybe Jack 9. You might raise Jack 9 for value, but then you're probably going to raise.
Maybe ace Jack. I mean, maybe. But if you think that.
I don't even know if you do that there.
That he can lead with weak middle pairs, weak top pairs.
But wouldn't you be afraid of like running off the original aggressor? Because when the original aggressor is a creative and aggressive opponent like Zach from Sack.
You're afraid of running him off?
Yeah, let's say if you flop.
If you're mad?
Hypothetically, if you flop really strong there.
Okay.
If you're trying to balance, if you're trying to balance there, and you're raising, and you're saying that hey, you're raising for value with a made hand, not just not a draw at queen 10.
Right.
If you really, I mean.
Maybe he didn't have to worry about that.
I don't worry. I'm just fired.
Matt flops top pair here.
I'm gonna get there.
9 on the turn. Checked around on the flop. Matt's gonna bet now. 65. Little value bet. Harlan gets away.
On Jack 9-5, 6-7-8 on Jack 9-5 rainbow. Why I wouldn't raise the set there? The original aggressor. If it would be different if it was like a 3-bet pot, where it was like 3-bet out of the blind, and you defended, you know, like cold called, you know, like say pocket 5s, pocket 9s, something like that, and the original aggressor fired out into a multi-way pot, then I might expect him to have some, you know, top pair plus over pairs, where you might be able to get some value there.
Plus, if you flat, the original aggressor might raise,
might bluff raise, repping, you know, stronger hands, and or you might still have stronger hands. I think with a bet and a raise in front of him, I mean, even if you have a hand like aces there, I'm not necessarily if you want to fold, but how big of a pot when you have a bet and a raise into the original aggressor in a multi-way pot? Even if you're sitting there with an overpair, I mean, how big of a pot do you really want to play with an overpair? I try not to play huge pots with one pair type hands.
I mean, I feel like when AD leads into you, also maybe I don't know, like he can do that. He might continue on a lot of turns, right? Like so that's why I would be inclined to flat with the set also.
Yes.
I mean
exactly. I'd be
in position with the aggressor behind you, you know.
We're gonna get it's been like 45 minutes later. We're still gonna be talking about but if you had a set, and Matt's gonna come over and be like, just stop.
I mean, guys, seriously, I was just clicking buttons.
Yeah, I grabbed too many white chips. That's all it was. I'm colorblind. That's all.
We even level ourselves in the booth. It's like.
Did he mean to raise me?
So Nat makes it 30 on the button with King 6 suited. Brian defends 3-4. He flops the best hand. Ace 9-3, Jack 9.
Oh, Veronica. Old man in the C bet.
So Nat checks down there because he suspects that his king high is good.
Veronica knows how much I love Hemingway.
The C bet?
Old man in the C bet. Yeah.
Wow.
She knows I love Hemingway, so she got the
beautiful. Literary references in our chat. I mean,
absolutely.
We got a super high level chat. So sick. Oh man. Harlan picks up a couple nines, makes it 35 to go.
If you can turn catching a fish into a novel, then I can turn talking about one hand into a novel too. All right, give me a break.
Tom's gonna come along with Ace 3 suited on the button. Brian has Queen 7 suited in the small blind. Why not? James sees this as a good opportunity to 3-bet out of the big blind with Jack 10. But Harlan has an actual hand this time, and he's gonna look him up. Tom folds his Ace 3 suited. I feel like Brian might come along here. Okay. He's playing discipline tonight. Queen 7, not the best hand against, a 3-bet. Oh, but he would have flopped a flush draw. Ace 6-5. That might be a scary board for both of them. James is gonna rep the ace, it looks like. Hope Harlan just goes away. You see Harlan staring him down, he's wondering, is he doing this with kings, queens, jacks?
Can he get them off?
Exactly. And he's gonna float it. So James leads 200, and Harlan is smelling something odd. He's gonna float here, and 6 of spades on the turn. What just happened? What just happened? What is this? It looked like James just overlooked the turn. 6 of spades, I fold.
Well, that didn't work.
I give up. You got me. So sick.
I think
he must have checked it,
James
and
checked and
Harlan
probably flipped in a chip and.
I think Harlan just snap jammed the turn. I mean, James checked, Harlan set all in because James only has 3 something.
And I saw Harlan just had one chip out there, so it had to be.
He must have just announced all in and threw out a chip. Yeah, we got a new quote by Jake.
Can he get off?
Can he get off? Time will tell. Anyway, moving on.
I look around.
Yeah, I think Harlan was definitely. I think he got a little bet sizing tell there, and once James checks the turn,
Well, and Harlan feels that he's never getting value from worse, but he can get better to fold.
He can get a lot of better hands to fold.
Tens, jacks, queens.
Exactly. Maybe kings even. So Harlan bumps it up to 35 again, this time with 6-4 suited. I love it. He gets 4 callers, Ace Queen 4, 2 diamonds. This game is so sick. Nat flops top 2. You see he has 85% equity there.
So it looks like Nat added on here as well. This game's getting pretty deep.
Yeah, it really is. Checks to Nat, who bets 110. I think that is going to get through.
I love it.
Sick. Yeah, it's really, That's funny. Whopper said locker talk. I think he meant locker room talk. It's just locker room talk, guys. It's fine.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's all good. No harm. Harlan on a little roll here, raising pre-flop, raises to 30 this time with ace-6 offsuit. Brian calls with ace-6 offsuit. Same hand. James is going to come along on the button with pocket threes. A little set mining. Oh, I guess Brian did not call?
Guess not.
Okay, Brian folded.
Queen 10-9, 2 diamonds. No player has a diamond. No one's got a jack.
Checks around.
James threes are still ahead here. 5 of diamonds comes
No
off.
point in betting.
Yeah. Just let this check all the way
It's
through.
just gonna showdown, and James is gonna pick up a little pot there.
He made his money.
So it's interesting here, like, okay, like we haven't seen a lot from Brian yet tonight, and it's funny because I think Brian, I'm starting to wonder if it's like intentional or not. We see like almost like Brian kind of polarize his playing style, go back and forth. Where like some nights he's all over the board, 3-betting like 4-3 offsuit, junk like that. Other nights he's playing a little bit snug.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I'm really curious. I mean, he's got position on Nat and Harlan.
Right.
He's far enough away from, AD and Zach Zach's sitting out right now where,
Yeah.
I mean, he's sitting in a pretty good spot. But I don't know if it's, hey, he's just like kind of a little bit card dead right now, or he's not feeling it, or if it's, kind of, by design where he's gonna, hey, I'm gonna kind of lay low a little bit.
Trying to use my previous, image or something, tighten up a little bit, maybe get paid on some big hands or something. Yeah, we have seen him mix it up a lot though.
A lot.
Yeah. Like make some super loose calls or big plays.
Matt's trying to fly.
I almost spit my water out.
Holt's claws are.
It's hilarious. That does crack me up though when people are like aggressively are like move your hands so I can see your stack. I'm like, bro, calm down.
Chill out.
You can see us right there. Not covering it. So Nat flop's open-ended. James turns a double gutter. It's just checking down, it looks like.
That's gonna be good.
Here or not. Nat turned a pair of tens.
Oh, yeah. The best part about it is this dude, there was a dealer.
Historically, Holt's claws have always been flightless birds.
Flightless.
Flightless.
I must have missed that chapter.
Yeah.
Although, Matt Holtzclaw fights crime in the mean streets of Sacramento.
Yes, he does. Yes,
So
he does.
I don't know. Maybe he has some kind of
Plays that mean
suction
game of,
device
yeah.
on his limbs or something.
Naked Twister? Was that the thing? Was the mean game of Naked Twister?
That would fare him well in that game.
It was when we were doing the Stone Survivor Series. That was one of my favorite bios. Was Matt's
Oh yeah. So
crime
Tom,
fighting.
Tom has the had the straddle on here. Brian just limped in with queens, and it limps around. Jack 4-3, a couple diamonds, and Harlan leads out with his top pair, backdoor hearts, backdoor straight draw.
So Brian did limp in the queens here.
He did. He limped queens under the gun.
So we were just talking. We were just talking about this. Brian playing a little sneaky.
Yeah.
Under repping his hand. Just calls.
Sick. And then an 8 of hearts on the turn. That improves Harlan. He picks up a flush draw. Brian's still kind of in trap mode here.
Now, if diamonds were to miss and Brian were to bomb the pot here, I would love it.
Yeah. And Harlan checks here. I feel like Brian has to go for some value, right? No? Okay.
Do not tell me Brian checked back.
Brian checked back.
He had one job out. One job. God damn.
Don't tell me not to do something, Jake. Come on. You know me better than that. It's pretty sick. I think Brian just kind of decided once he limps in and it doesn't get raised, he's just in like call down mode.
Harlan's never checking 2-pair plus there.
Yeah, I agree. But
He's never checking 2-pair plus. I mean, he might check straights to look for check rate, but it's like one hand that you're like free rolling like a value bet fold to check raise kind of thing like that. Like he's never checking 2-pair plus. I think you can make a egregiously large bet there, and
especially like you said, once the flush draw missed.
Once the flush draw breaks off,
it looks so bluffy, and you have queens there, and he never is putting.
He never has queens.
There,
he never has queens there.
And Harlan should have like a 1-pair type hand,
and he wouldn't
especially
bomb.
when he checks the river.
Yes. Thank you. I'm just saying.
You're welcome.
Just saying.
But yeah, he checked back. I'm just kidding. He still checked back. So Harlan, after 80 flats 20, Harlan makes it 125 on the button, Queen 9 suited. 80 comes along to set mine, and that is not what he was looking for. Ace, King, Jack, couple hearts. Hartford. Okay. Once 80 checks, Harlan's going to continue, 150.
And 80's not a believer.
I'm going to be very surprised if 80 calls here. I feel like
he's out of position, but his knee-jerk reaction was to grab for chips there.
Yeah, he wanted to call real bad. So sick, but what's his plan on the turn? Like
King to 4. What's he playing? 4 clubs.
That'd be a good turn.
He looked at me and goes, all in. And I was like, every time
Harlan's just chatting it up over there, and Adrian's gonna get away from it.
Long term, we know that's a good fold.
Yeah, you can't check call there. What are you gonna do on the turn? Like, what's your plan with 4s there?
Against like a really nitty player who might like c-bet and then give up, on later streets. Maybe you get kind of creative there if you can get some sort of like sizing tell or read on him, but long term I think folding 4s is obviously the right play. Even though we know that he has the best hand, I think long term we know it's the right play.
I think if he really trusts his read there, he can raise.
Yeah.
But that's all.
Yeah. Get him off a king or a jack.
Check raise lead turn.
Check raise lead.
Barrel.
He's never nutted here.
Oh, sick. Fish Can Catch asked how I did in the 450. I lost. I did not win. He said such a pro, but I feel like I'm sensing sarcasm. Depends what bullet he was sitting to my left, huh?
Right.
Right. So Brian here with a couple queens. Tom is king suited. And Brian's in the big blind. This is going to be a good spot for him.
So Brian had literally, he played queens pretty passively just a few hands prior. I'm curious to see how he plays it here. I mean...
Well, it's such a different situation, right? James opened to 35 under the gun. Harlan flats in the cutoff. Tom 3-bets to 130.
Brian
And
cold calls.
he just calls, and I'm wondering if that's because it's Tom. You know, we
Because
haven't
it's
seen
Tom.
Tom do anything
Tom's
too crazy.
3-betting out of the blind.
Yeah.
And pretty darn good flop there for Brian.
Decent flop. We're gonna see some fireworks here. Tom with the nut flush draw with 2 overs. He can't put Brian on a set of queens here. Harlan has a piece of it too. We might see some real fireworks.
Harlan's got backdoor hearts as well. In a pair.
So much in the pot, you can't fold middle pair. And he's just gonna call. Oh my gosh.
Harlan.
Harlan's gonna spaz out. Don't spaz, Harlan. He's just gonna call.
Running 6-6.
Gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
3 on the turn.
Brian loves that turn. Tom checks. He's gotta go for some value here. He can't count on Harlan to bet this one.
No, never.
I'm thinking like 580? 620? What do you think?
5 1/4.
What kind of value he's sizing?
475. 5 1/4.
He might be thinking that Harlan could possibly raise him. Okay. Harlan's out. Tom's gonna come along with his flush draw.
How much is Tom got behind? But how much is that? 1900. There's 11. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Brian bet's 420. It's a very
Smallish bet.
Smallish.
Not a bad. Because you can still make a pot-sized river bet to get all the money in.
Exactly, and he could get check raised by like aces or kings.
Yeah. And you see Brian immediately already looking at how much he's got left.
Yeah. 9 of spades on the river changes nothing. Tom bricks out. Don't think he's gonna pay off a river bet.
Problem for Tom is that he's blocking bluffs.
Yeah. Did Tom check yet? Maybe. I wonder if Tom's thinking about firing here.
I would not love it.
I guess he checked. Maybe. I'm not sure.
I don't know if he's checked yet.
I mean,
would Brian ever cold call? No,
Yeah, he
here's
must
Brian's
have
bet. Would Brian ever cold call Queen Jack, King Queen, handing maybe get him off of?
Yeah,
I don't
probably
think
not.
so.
And Brian knows he's only getting paid by aces, kings, which probably check shove the turn.
Yeah.
Maybe jacks. Nice pot there for Brian. I mean, he did make some extra money there, keeping Harlan in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although the pot could have gotten bigger if he had 4-bet pre-flop.
So, if he 4-bet, yeah. I like.
Because they might just get it in.
Versus Tom.
Flop or turn.
Versus Tom, I like flatting the
Yeah.
3-bet. And then, I mean, Tom, I think, is going to, especially against Brian and Harlan, Tom's going to be c-betting everything there. So, I mean, I like flatting as well, just because, I mean, if he's got the black ace king there, then you lose it. So I like flatting, plus you give Harlan a chance to get creative or have a piece somehow.
Exactly. And I think that's, that played into his sizing there on with his bet with Harlan behind him. Harlan's capable of
Getting cute.
getting cute. So cute.
Adorable. 8-5-4.
Bunch of junky hands. Harlan has ace jack.
Nat makes a pair of 8s. He's gonna bet it.
Harlan made it 60 to go pre-flop with ace jack. Nat with the best of it here. Zach with a little gutter ball and over. Oh, gutter ball.
4 comes off. Nat's gonna look for value from straight and flush draws. Can't get it.
What, the 6-7 straight draw? Just kidding.
Yeah, the 6-7 straight draw.
Good value.
LT for the 259. LT for 257.
Anywho. James is all in.
Stuffing it pre with the ace
300?
queen. kind of a tourney move here.
Service on 11, please.
Yeah.
On top of you got LC.
AD hates it. It's like, that's a dumb raise, I call.
He's ready to lose.
Call all in, check it down.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's no question, like when I open and get a call, you just want to put in like 200 bigs, check it out.
Play for stacks, check it down.
Yeah. Easy game.
You don't have to make any more decisions. It's perfect.
Ryan 007, that is some Led Zeppelin you're hearing. They play some good tunes
Oh
here.
yeah, for sure. Great
Dig it.
station. They put the Johnny Cash on late at night.
Yeah,
It always keeps me from leaving. If I'm here at 2, I'm just here till 9. It's like, man, Johnny's on. Free breakfast.
Free breakfast, beat me to it.
Just get stuck.
Get stuck. Matt is going to open the pot here in pocket 7s. Takes it 35 to go.
Now remember? I'll remember.
4K no.
And unless, wow, Brian's
All
going to
right,
come
Brian's
along.
back.
The Queen Fiver.
Hey, if he's flatting with queens, he might as well be flatting with Queen 5 suited.
Suited.
Keep it balanced, Brian. Keep it
For you
balanced.
kids at home.
Now he can start flatting super weak too. Jack 10-8 rainbow flop. AD outflops his opponents here. What? With bottom pair. Checks around. 3 of spades on the turn. Brian picks
Spade.
up flush draw. And he's in position and he gets to bet it.
And
AD
Matt cannot
quickly
overcall.
calls. No. Even if a 9 peels off, Matt can't,
Yeah, you
isn't
can't
gonna
continue.
love that straight, so. Ace on the river. This should be interesting.
And AD,
Interesting.
On top of you
that's 100. Got the best hand, takes it down.
He was bluffing with the best hand.
Crusher.
Pressure. He didn't want to be faced with a river bet when he checked.
And against Brian, you check that card, he'll probably bet it.
Yeah. But it's hard to check call there.
Renee in Portugal in the chat.
What's up, Renee M? I met him recently. He final tabled.
Yeah, he took third in the main.
Oh, nice.
In the Stones main.
Awesome.
The classic.
Amazing.
James is going to limp in middle position here.
Nice.
Or relatively early position,
Yeah,
C5.
congratulations, Renee M. I'll be playing some stuff pretty soon. Maybe around here, maybe Reno, maybe Tahoe. We'll see what happens.
God, there's so much poker coming up, right? So much poker. Jesus.
Damn it, Veronica. She is a nurse.
Zach makes it 65 to go off the button with the 9-10 of spades, takes on the pop pre.
Nurses are always like super dirty.
Yeah, you generally get to apologize for their behavior. Like, sorry, she's my friend, but she's a nurse, so.
But she's a nurse.
She says a lot of stuff.
Forgive her.
Yeah.
She's a nurse. I mean, nurses, they've seen it all, you know, like.
$20 straddle is in effect, courtesy of Nat. Brian, king, queen off, effectively +1, +2 officially.
Zach with ace jack in the cutoff. I was gonna say I'd expect a little raise from him.
Oh, yeah.
A little raise like a 120. I like a little 6Xer.
I like the way Zach's wearing the hoodie on the back half of his head, cover up his, hair on the back of your neck tails. That, I guess.
Every time I flop a set, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I gotta keep them covered, you know.
Doesn't go fully cloaked.
Right.
Half cloaked.
The old half cloaker. Half cloakeroony.
Balance. It's balance.
Trying to channel our friend.
So, levels, thinking, whatever like that. We just saw Brian limping the king queen off there under the gun +1. Effectively under the gun +1. Or in reality +2. I don't open limp. I talk about that a lot. I say things.
Sorry, what? You don't? Is that what you said?
Open limp, ever.
Oh,
but when you're in a game, particularly against players, a very aggressive player that in the straddle who might take advantage of limp pots. I mean, do you ever consider taking a hand like king queen there and limping it, almost clicking to call a raise in a multi-weight limp pot, and limping for value, anticipating a raise there? I mean, not that you're going to try to back raise, limp 3-bet.
I think it's hard to do against a player like Zach in the cutoff. But against
like Nat straddle. I mean, consider limping on Nat straddle there.
Yes.
James missing 40 to go.
Almost like a pot control type move.
Yeah.
Like I probably have his range beat. I'm in position.
If you open there, he also just as likely as he is to try to pounce on the limper. He's just likely to 3-bet out of the straddle.
So James ships 315 here with,
Nut clubbered. Uber Zach, welcome to the chat. Uber Zach from Kentucky.
What?
Uber Zach from Kentucky.
Kentucky?
Yeah.
Is that
Jayhawk.
Is that my...
That's Kansas. Wow, I really butchered that, didn't I? What? Marco. Polo.
Uber Zach, he's the one that, he's from, close to where I was born.
Really?
Kentucky, yeah.
Kentucky.
If I'm remembering correctly. Yeah.
Worse.
What's up, Uber Zach? Ryan. Next level. Oh, yeah.
Kentucky suitored. That's a dangerous combination. Brian with the queens again!
What?
Brian in the straddle wakes up queens. He's going to wake up queens. James.
Time in
7 hands, right?
2 orbits?
I don't know. I'm probably minimizing it, but it's not been a lot of hands.
I think it's 2 orbits.
Yeah, let's say less, just for argument. He's running up here. James makes it 60 to go, under the gun +1, effectively under the gun.
And James has been trying to get that stack in there.
He has.
It's up to about 500 now, but see what happens here. Especially when
Harlan 3-bets a 74 on the button. Is James the guy who's been showing that he's willing to get the stack in?
Yeah.
Is he the guy you want to be 3-betting light when he opens under the gun, effectively under the gun?
I mean, probably not.
Right? Harlan's just like screw you. I'm gonna
let's
beat you to the pot.
Let's see if you want to get it in again. I fold.
And now here's Brian. He's now put in a spot where he's gonna cold call the queens.
Just cold calls again. This is sick. Hoping that James stuffs it, right?
I think you're hoping for that.
I mean, it's so weird.
I mean, you don't hate it. You never eat. What? Oh, Jesus, no.
Oh, he's getting such a good price there. 3.5 to 1.
Harlan flops a double gutter.
I can't go on. So sick. checks through. I think Brian is just like,
No, Brian, check.
Brian was gonna check call flop, I think. So sick.
You're getting value from jacks, 9s, 10s. That might check back. Call a turn bet,
I
maybe.
wouldn't hate checking again if I'm Brian.
I check again if I'm Brian with a very high frequency.
Check call, maybe.
Because after you check 2 streets, Harlan's got a bet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for him to rep, you know, and the 3
Harlan
comes
calls,
off.
looking for a 6 here, 6 ball. I was gonna say he could also maybe bluff spades, but probably not. Seems weird. King on the river. I just feel like Brian should be check calling here.
Brian should check all the turn. I mean, the problem is, I mean, when the board pairs, 3 comes off on the turn. What are you really expecting Harlan to rep there? I mean, maybe he might go for like some value with like 9s, 10s, jacks.
Probably not.
Probably not though. I mean, it's just kind of a weird like.
Yeah.
So I guess like you can lead there and get calls from
As
those
it
hands.
is, I mean, he got Harlan to call with his straight draw.
So, well, I got the 7-4 crushed.
He got value from 7 high, so I mean, it was a good bet. Being results oriented.
I mean, part of me thinks that, you know, if you're Brian, after you check 2 streets, that you would expect Harlan to bet the turn. The problem is when the 3 comes off on the turn, it's not really a good card for Harlan's 3-betting. I mean, mind you, Harlan's got a huge range. We just saw him 3-bet 7-4, so I mean, Harlan's got a very wide range.
Right.
But I mean, traditionally, you know, speaking, it's not a great card for his 3-betting range. So, I mean, I'd almost kind of worry about getting a lot of checkbacks there too. So I can see leading and trying to get calls out of 9s, 10s, jacks, hands like that.
Yeah. But Harlan's also a player that can put you in a bad spot and just raise you because he senses that you have.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I go check call, check call.
Yeah, I think that's
Levels.
probably how I would have played it, but
But we're nits.
yeah. I haven't been called a nit in a long ever, maybe. I was gonna say a long time, but that didn't make any sense.
AD with a monster here. Top
How's
pair,
that?
queen high club draw.
He bet 75. No one can defend. Yeah, guys, let's keep the locker room talk to a minimum. Just kidding. It's pretty funny.
How'd they get on Neil Patrick Harris? What is wrong
It
with our
started with
chat?
HIV and somehow went to Neil Patrick
Oh, that's
Harris.
not cool.
Through like a few bridges.
Oh,
Not
gotcha.
like directly.
It's like I'll be like late at night, like on like
like a
Wikipedia, and then like next thing you know, it's like
Yeah.
somehow I was in on like Mount Everest disasters. I can't explain why.
How did I get to here?
What is this?
Is this real life? Bad Santa 2? Seriously, what's going on with the chat tonight, guys?
Got Veronica in the
Random.
chat.
Right?
Mom juice. Yeah.
Bunch of junkers. Let's move on.
If you ever want to
hand.
feel better about yourself, look at Flat Earth Society videos. Oh my, not insulting the chat, there might be flat earthers, but I mean,
I don't even want to ask.
no, there's people that still believe that the Earth is flat, and they're adamant. That's wonderful.
It's annoying.
It makes you feel better about yourself though. Like okay, it could be worse. I could be
Does it
like,
though?
like,
Or does it just make you sad?
yeah. I mean, you share a species with them, so I guess it's like kind of tough like that. But what are you gonna do?
Oh man, it's pretty funny. 6, 7, 8. Always good to have you here. Always good to have you around.
All players, attacks from this way.
It's open to 50. Is that what I'm seeing?
Looks like it. Is the straddle on? I think the $20 straddle is on. $50 open.
Wow, and
And
James
James-
is gonna book it again.
Again. with the ace-jack suited. So yeah, Harlan bumped it up to 50 with queen 10 offsuit. Nat called with ace 4.
Harlan might want to gamble with him. He's not gonna.
Little loose for Harlan.
Nat showing the ace.
And James just gets it in. Good spot. Definitely seeing some tournament poker action from James, I think.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's okay.
678. Happy birthday if you're not bluffing. You just never know. He just has so many birthday bluffs in his range. I just never know.
So balanced.
So balanced. What do you do? What do you do?
Yep. There are 2 employees here with birthdays today. One of the dealers told me it was his birthday, and Garrett.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, other employee and
Right?
Garrett.
More players.
Queen 10-6 rainbow. Everyone has a queen? Hold on, how many queens are in this deck?
11D.
What is happening? James with the best queen.
55.
I like Harlan's hand. He has a more original pair.
All in.
And here goes James again.
James just gets it in again. With the best hand. So AD led 55. Matt called with the queen 9. Harlan called with bottom pair. And James just sticks it. Wow.
Does one of the queens call him? AD or Matt?
I feel like it's hard for AD to call with 2 people behind him. Now Matt has Harlan behind him with a pretty weak queen. I mean,
You're ahead of the King Jack.
King Jack, yeah. Jack 9.
Harder, I mean, he's blocking a 9.
You could do it with like ace 10, but that seems weird once with a bet and 2 calls in front of you.
At some point, though, once you've seen James do this a couple times now, I mean, part of you keep in your head like he's doing this light.
Yeah, definitely.
Matt's gonna wait and find a better spot.
I think Matt's definitely suspecting that.
Maybe I'm folding the best hand, but do I really, which one? And
he's
James is
like,
gonna
"No,
show
guys,
it.
I have it.
James shows it.
I have it.
Line 20.
Pancakes sound delicious right now. See, I don't know, like I think breakfast can go like any time of the day, but I'm not like a pancake. I'm not like a pastry guy breakfast. Like I'm more like eggs and bacon and like omelets and like stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not a pancake guy. I don't want pancakes and waffles. I mean, I like pancakes.
It's like dessert for breakfast.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of weird.
I can do some eggs Benedict like anytime, all the time, every time.
Yeah, Uber Zach, you gotta look at flights probably to like Oakland, San Francisco, from that area. It's expensive flying to Sacramento for some reason. You can hack your way through Vegas though.
Yes.
Always the cheapest way from Cincinnati to Vegas and then to Sacramento. Traveler tip. So Nat makes a 70 with pocket 8s, pocket ochos.
All the ochos.
Harlan calls with king 10. Jack deuce deuce, pretty good flop for Nat. He's going to continue.
Harlan check calls a king high.
Sick. What's his plan there?
Maybe to bluff a spade. Or to make a pair.
Remember the best hand? How did he know? What did he show?
He shows the king.
Slow roll.
Slow roll.
No, he showed the 10.
Oh, he showed the 10.
Oh,
Sick.
Harlan's so fun to play with. He's so funny. He like tries to tilt everyone, but he does it in like a
No, and like
a playful manner.
Yeah, exactly. It's never obnoxious.
Like unless you're really
Yeah.
a tilty person,
Yeah.
it doesn't bother you.
Blame Nostalgia, welcome to the chat. So you met James playing on Bovada.
What?
Now it's on a, now
How do you
everyone's
meet
playing
people on
Ignition.
Bovada?
It's like Farmers Only, but for poker players.
Right?
Get out of here.
I'll be in the 1-2 PLO later if you want us to meet up on Bovada. Grindersonly.com. Wait, that's already a thing. Wait, Grindr? Wait, isn't that? Never mind. All right. Matt makes it.
move on.
Yeah.
Just move on.
Operation Never Mind. Matt makes it 60 to go with pocket 7s on the button. It is a $20 straddle.
Because por que no? Especially when Harlan will call with 5 deuce.
8, 7, 8, all diamonds.
Wow.
Matt flops bottom set, but
Harlan has no diamond, no draw.
Matt says, please
he
have a
does like
diamond.
heart.
But he has heart.
Heart. And
I
Matt's
need you
like,
to have
seriously,
one diamond
flop a set
and
nothing.
only one diamond, please.
Right?
Exactly.
And no more diamonds on the board.
No more
also.
diamonds.
Is that
Yeah.
too much to ask?
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Perfect. There we go.
Barrellovers.com. Loveontheriver.com. Oh god.
Please no ads in the chat. Angry Pollock.
I love this stuff. Jeez. I can see that. Like, I mean, they have something for everything,
Love to stuff it.
right? It's the best. But I mean, in a world where they really do have like something for everything.
In a world.
In a world. No. Look at people that trying to maintain relationships in poker. We see like Jennifer Tilly and like Phil Locke and players like that, or people like that work out. But I mean, when you're in like the poker world or community and trying to maintain relationships and the hours that go along with like playing like a lot of poker, full time poker, like that, it's hard to maintain like personal relationships. Not just never mind romantic relationships. It's just like having friends. Like, what do you do? Like, hey, I sleep till 2 and then I get up and I play till 3 or 4 in the morning and. Eat casino food all the time. I mean, here's not so bad, but like,
Right.
I could see there could be a grindersonly.com or whatever.
Oh yeah, like just for poker people.
Sure, yeah.
Who like have no sense of actual reality and just like
No.
stay up all night.
What's your ROI? He's got a big ROI.
What's your ROI? What's your VPIP, baby? Peter flops the nut flush draw. A couple overs.
I like long walks on the beach and defending suited connectors.
Oh man. Brian's gonna make a sick fold here. 7 high flush draw. Am I in fuego, JFK Stones? Am I?
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Excuse me?
So look at stacks there. Zach from Stack. He's still got about 5K in front of him.
Zach from Stack.
Zach Stack.
So good. I'm trying to remember who the big winner is so far tonight. Peter's
done
double.
fared well.
Yeah.
Very well.
Peter must
Brian's
win a
had
couple
queens a lot of
Ks.
times. Doesn't play a ton of hands, but I mean,
Right?
he's had queens.
Stacking up nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like no one else has won or lost a lot though.
Tom got off really well, but he lost a little bit to Brian's queens on the ace high flush draw.
Yeah. So Zach bumps it up to 40 here with Ace Queen suited. Matt's gonna come along with Queen Jack suited. Harlan also suited. Brian's like, why not?
And Brian
I
flops
can flop
bottom
two pair,
two.
You never know. 5 deuce. I've seen it flop 2 pair.
Tom flops a king.
Wow. And
Check
Harlan's
out
gonna bet
Harlan.
his gut shot.
Let's cut backdoor diamonds.
Oh, so excuse me.
Yeah.
You're right. Never underestimate the back doors.
You must have read my bio.
I feel like Garrett walked in at a weird time.
Yeah.
He was like,
So Nat,
and Brian just
Nat, I'm sorry,
calls with
Brian.
bottom 2. I don't know. I would have. I mean, bottom 2 there, especially on that board, is such a
Tom's call. All right, now.
what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerable hand, you know?
Club on the turn proves no one. Checks through.
Wow.
Jack.
And now if you're Brian, I mean, you gotta be a little scared. I guess he can bet for value and just fold to a raise. I mean, he's getting value from, I guess ace king's possible, king queen, king 10.
Tom's gonna snap
King.
king 10.
And that's exactly what happens. He gets value from a king here. I mean,
52.
I gotta say, I feel like we're seeing a very different style from Brian tonight.
We are. I mean, we're seeing him defend the 5 deuce, but then play it in a very. I mean, we're seeing him play his hands in a very conservative manner.
Yeah, like I kind of expected him to take a different line on that.
At some point, have an aggressive action.
Either like a check raise on the flop or lead the turn.
Yeah.
It was a relatively safe turn. I mean, he could just be kind of adjusting to the other players at the table. Like, he keeps having Harlan behind him.
And the point where, like, maybe it feels like he might be more profitable, like checking and like bluff catching. These
Right,
players,
yeah.
These players might be more inclined to fire away to dry bluff. I mean, there wasn't a lot of
Exactly.
draws that bricked off, but
Especially because his hand keeps being pretty disguised.
yes.
You know, like with the queens as an overpair, and then the 5 deuce, obviously. Pretty disguised.
Suicide bombshell. You're welcome.
Ray the dealer in the box. You have so many fans, Jake.
I do. I'll take the credit
Jake,
and the
so
blame.
hot right now.
Jake,
So hot right
so
now. Oh man, that's hilarious.
Matt, looks like he makes it 60 to go, 60-65 with the pocket 5s. Raise to 60. Nat,
And can I just predict that James sticks it here?
stuff it.
Although he has like 800 now.
Wow!
Timeout. Oh, Nat 3-bet to 160.
Nat threw us 160.
And he just folds ace queen.
I don't know, like, I mean, you're so far ahead of Nat's 3-betting range.
Yeah, but he might not know that. And Nat's been playing like relatively snuggish.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, finish that
Like
sentence.
halfway through the sentence, I was like,
when I
can I
started
retract? Can I?
Operation, never mind.
Operation Nevermind.
Check through the turn.
Matt's still with the best hand somehow, but he does not like it. I mean, I feel like he just has to check fold here.
Check fold it is.
Matt gets away from it. Matt, don't fold the best hand, no!
No.
Sometimes you just gotta fold the best hand.
And that goes back to like the player, and it's you're not just check calling one street there. It's against Nat, against that kind of
Right.
player. There's more bets coming.
Yeah. And you can pretty much never call any river, so might as well fold.
So we got a $25 straddle here, courtesy of Zach.
All right.
And Harlan's gonna open up the pot. And then check his Twitter. I just raised,
And then
guys.
swipe left.
Swipe left.
Raise 75, swipe left.
So Harlan looks like 75 to go with sevens. Nat calls the 3 high.
3
I
high.
love it.
Guys, remember when I said Nat was playing snuggish? I was just kidding.
Gonna throw that Stormtrooper cookie jar right out the window. And Zach's gonna defend the
referring to
straddle.
something else.
Yeah. 9-5 suitor.
I like it. I'm suited. Oh, sick. Harlan flops middle set. Zach with some backdoor action and a gutter. Nat still with 3 high. He's gonna fold.
There's actually a board texture. I don't
Zach,
mind check
Zach.
raising if you're Zach.
Yeah, for sure. You know, defend
There it is.
and he does.
I love it.
And unfortunately for him, Harlan has a real hand that he's never folding. And this is it's one of those spots where like this board texture shouldn't be great for Harlan's opening the 75 range, but it is.
But it is.
It's actually really good for his opening range. And
And if I'm Harlan,
I
I'm
think-
just flatting here.
Yeah, I think that's why Harlan's, a very tough opponent, hard to play against, because he just has a set of sevens here sometimes.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
No, Harlan raises.
I agree. I would have liked to see a flat there, let Zach barrel the turn, and then maybe get it in.
I mean, you're getting snapped or stuffed on by the 8-9er. We know that. Is Zach ever check raising ace 10 here? I don't think so. And if he is, I think you're given a chance to get away here.
Yeah.
I definitely think this should be a flat by Harlan.
I think so too, because Zach should be betting most turns.
I guess the problem for Harlan, might be that it's harder that Zach can't have 7-8 or 7-9 there because Harlan's blocking all the sevens. So I guess
So
6,
10-9, 10-8.
10-8.
He's
But then
trying to
I-
get value from straight draw flush, straight draw.
Yeah, I
pair.
still don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
don't
still
love
say
it.
flat.
I don't love it.
I like flatting there. But then again, we're cynics and we hate everything.
Then again, same.
Same. Flat.
Flat,
Flat.
jam.
Flat. Yeah, I think with Harlan's stack says, if after Zach check raise to you check with 4-10 or 3
Yeah,
and change,
4 something.
like 4 and change.
Yeah, 4.
If he continues on the turn, I mean, you don't want to
gotta be
you don't want to see an 8 or
500,
9.
right?
Yeah, it's got to be 5 plus. I think Harlan can
Even
can
if
almost
you
stuff the
see an
turn.
8 or 9, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna lead 5 something, 6, 7.
Yeah, and you can get it
Then
in
you
on the
just get
turn.
it in, yeah. And most turns are fine for you. Obviously, you don't want to see a,
You prefer not to see an 8 or 9.
but still, even
Prefer.
if you do. Meh.
No.
He's ignoring me though.
Ultimate for 2-5.
Yes. Yes, 6, 7, 8, yes.
What's up?
You shut your mouth now.
Excuse me?
You shut your mouth and you talk to
You
me.
stop that locker room talk. To my face.
Yes, let's PO.
Hey, I want a copy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as soon as I saw it, like, no.
Give it to me. 6, 7, 8, give it to me. I want it.
No, I trust me.
Let's overthink to the end.
Yes.
Let us.
I can't wait.
I'll get there.
Can't wait to overthink some tournament shove ranges.
Live 100. Live 100.
So there are rumors,
Words on the streets.
words on the streets of some action coming up.
Live 100 or $50 bomb.
We'll confirm when they're no longer rumors.
Brian now, the Kings.
But stick around. Brian with all these big pairs, man.
Now how's he gonna play this one?
Like, please 3-bet. Please, please.
3-bet?
Brian,
Now tell
please.
me.
If you're not 3-betting kings, like, what? You're never 3-betting anything. Right?
Right?
Okay, thank you. I was like, just getting a little
Now part of
anxious
this, I mean,
there.
it's part of this working against you where like, if you're flatting queens, you gotta be like super strong here to be 3-betting now. I mean, gotta be, if he's only flatting
Only
queens.
if they've been watching the stream and, you know, paying attention to that, but
No, if I'm planning on calling here, I want him to have a strong hand.
right. And Peter gets in there with jacks on the button.
I'd rather be in position, but at this point with a couple callers, you might get priced in.
Yep, for sure. I mean, especially with a snappy hand like 7-5 suited, you know?
Oh yeah.
You gotta get in there. You're like, I hope you have aces or kings. I got 7-5. I can beat that.
Oh, and there's a 6-8 of hearts.
Oh my
And a
gosh.
king, top 7%. What is your flush draw?
What is this?
Hercules. Holy hell.
Can't contain my excitement. I
I swear to God, I was
this could just go all. This could go crazy. Brian has to bet it,
Nat's got a check raise.
right?
I swear to God, I was thinking like, oh, she get like the 6-8 of hearts.
Right, and a king.
And a king.
Oh, and Peter gets in there. Wow.
Peter's going with the
It's
jacks.
on 11, please.
I mean, he's
So
gonna
where's
call
Brian's
once
stack?
and hope it slows down, but it's
They're-
not going to slow down.
Both players are over 3K deep here.
Oh my gosh, this could be a crazy hand. See how Nat proceeds here.
If Nat check raises to like something like 13, I mean, how big do you want to go here though?
I mean, the bet was 90 with a call.
Oh, it's just
Pot's
90.
500.
Okay, you can't. Okay. I thought Brian's
Yeah, I was
see bet
gonna
more.
say maybe like 3 something.
Okay, so 3 and change.
350? 425 maybe? On the
350.
larger side. 350. Okay. And now, what do you do if you're Brian here with top set? I mean,
So
you got a call and check raise.
well, if Nat's got hearts, he's probably not folding.
so
if he
you want to get
focuses-
value from like nut
Get value
hearts.
from nut hearts,
You want to get value from
from 8s and 6s,
yeah.
from oversetting someone.
Smaller
Because what you don't want to do
sets.
is flat here, and then say if your opponent has an 8 or is a set of 8s or set of 6s, and then a heart comes
the
off.
heart peels off,
and he
kills your action.
action.
Yeah. But he also has Peter behind him. You know, he wants.
It's a tough
more-
spot to try to try to suck Peter in.
Exactly.
And
It's
simply get
almost
value from
better
that.
to just raise, try to get more out of Nat.
On this board, I would expect if Peter was really strong here, that Peter would have raised.
Yeah.
So I'd be more
probably not getting a lot more value out
I would
of
try to get
Peter
more value
later
from Nat
streets.
than I would be trying to get
Yeah.
suck Peter in. So I think you just raise here.
Yeah.
And try to get some
Peter
some
wasn't
chips
going
in
to
the
put any
pot.
more money in the pot anyway. Unless the jack comes on. Nat's just going to call here. So Brian made it 890. Nat calls, looking for a 4 or a 9 or a heart. 5 on the turn, 5 of clubs. So Nat picks up a pair. Obviously, he knows he's not good with that.
Is Nat going to lead here, try to lay his own price to draw?
Looks like he's gonna lead. You think he's like repping 7-9 here? He could have 7-9 here, especially 7-9 of hearts. I mean, obviously Brian's not folding, but do you just raise here if you're Brian?
I think he did it.
I don't think he's got many hands that he's going to fold. Wow, Brian flats.
Flats. Wow, this is sick. Okay.
And if Nat had nut hearts, Brian might be able to feel that he can get value here from
Right.
the ace of hearts.
Nat checks, and I would expect him to be check folding. Checks back.
Did Brian really just check back
Holy shit, Brian. Brian's always fucking got it.
Sick. I feel like Brian senses that he missed some value. Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, I feel like he has to get more money in there on the turn.
I mean, if Nat can have the 6, can have
7-9.
the 7-5 there, then I guess he can have 7-9 as well.
Sure.
But I mean, the way the hand plays out, after Brian puts in the re-raise on the flop, if Nat has 7-9, I don't think Nat or Brian risks. I'm sorry, I don't think Nat risks it going check river. I don't think Nat.
Chips on 11, please.
If after Brian puts in so I don't think that after Brian puts in the re-raise on the flop, if Nat actually had the 7-9 and turned the nut, I don't think he looks at check raise river, just because I mean he should be able to get value for a lot of all Brian's hands. So I think if you're Brian, I think you kind of discount Nat having the 7-9 there.
Once he checks
once he checks
leading
river.
turn small, yeah.
If he leads river again, maybe you just flat.
Yeah.
But I think checking back once he checks river.
So this just in, they are doing $100 straddle.
Round of $100 straddles, kids.
All right, 5, 10, 100 for one round only.
Whose idea was it?
Love it.
It's your classic 5, 10, 100
I
game.
mean, why not? Only at Stones.
And Brian's got ace king here, and Zach
Wow. Oh my god.
is about to pick up queens.
So, who put in the straddle? Harlan?
Harlan puts in the $100 straddle.
Nat calls
Nat
with
flats
6-7
on the
suited.
6-7 suited.
Brian makes it 500.
500 to go. And now Zach queens.
What is this?
Just your and Peter.
Gosh.
What is Peter hasn't folded yet?
Oh
Peter's got
my
ace jack.
Gosh. I feel like Peter's gonna fold. Oh my gosh.
Right?
I mean, wow.
Chips on 11.
Chips.
And now Zach is gonna 1, 2 queens. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh
Oh
god.
gosh. Oh god. Oh god.
Act normal. Zach's gonna flat the 500 on the button.
What?
Round of $100 straddles.
Oh my. Hey, Raquel. Wow.
Nat.
Wow, wow, wow.
What does Nat do here? You know, I hate the limp re-raise, but Nat's an absolutely sick spot to try to pull off. He can't think that Zach is super strong
Right,
here.
and that's why he might think
And
about
Brian has played so
raising
passively.
here. Oh gosh.
Nat's
Also
gonna
a
call.
good spot to just call though, with 6-7 suited, CFR.
They hit the position.
King,
King,
Queen,
Queen,
3.
three.
Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday, Zach.
Poor
Top for Brian. Middle
Brian's been
set.
playing so like snug, and now he's just getting.
And Nat has a backdoor straight
He's
flush
just
draw.
in a really bad
Sorry.
spot here. Wow. Wow.
Flat. I agree with you, 6-7, 8. I don't think we're deep enough to be flatting the 6-7 out of position there. I think it's definitely a
maybe
4
not,
better
maybe
fold.
not. Although his 4-bet would not have worked. Wow. So Zach opts to just flat the 600 on the flop. Pretty safe turn card, 8 of spades. Puts 2 spades out there, but nothing else gets there. See what Brian decides to do here. He's gonna check, he's been playing pretty snug. Zach has to put in a bet here, and I would expect Brian to be check calling, right?
Absolutely. So
Check call.
once again, I also don't think that they were deep into set line, so it's hard to put Zach on pocket threes, and I don't think he'd be cold calling king queen hands like that. So I think you're mostly
Like
thinking
a
he's got
10
like ace
jack, ace queen,
ace queen.
10 jack,
Then ace queen's gonna get checked back a lot though, so
10
maybe
jack of spades.
10 jack of spades.
13, 1400 to call. So Brian's gonna look at his stack here and decide what to do.
Is Brian thinking of maybe trying to get Zach off the same hand? That might be, it's hard for him to have the same hand, but I mean,
yeah.
Ace King would actually make a lot of sense here.
Zach with a little over 3,000 behind.
Wouldn't Zach be checking back Ace Queen most of the time? The way this hand's played out.
True.
So if you're Brian, I think you're calling. Hard to put him on queens. Hard for him to have kings. And we know he doesn't have aces.
And we've seen Zach barrel pretty hard in similar spots. Like
we have.
I don't expect Brian to fold here. I mean, I think he's been playing snug enough to where he might think about it, but I just feel like against Zach, he wants to just get it in there. I don't know. I mean, but at the same time, he's not getting value from worse, right?
Yeah, and that's the hard part here with Ace King is we always talk about, is actually even when you do make your hand, what hands are going to pay you off?
I think once he checks the turn, he feels like he can't fold,
Brian should check.
Brian's going to check, and he's going to be in a very bad spot when Zach stuffs it on the river here.
All of it.
He's capable of it. That's why it's such a tough spot for Brian. All in. All in about 3K?
Ace Jack?
This was the first
$100
hand
straddle.
where we had a $100 straddle. By the way, poor Brian.
The second one is the other hand that Zach is capable of doing this with is Ace Jack. We saw Peter kind of lull around calling Ace Jack free. I don't know
Also,
how much
maybe
Zach is.
Oh, he can't have Ace Jack of spades.
No.
Brian has Ace of spades.
I don't know how inclined Zach would be to cold call a $500 open from Brian with a hand like Ace Jack. I think he might be more inclined to follow Peter's suit and fold the Ace Jack pre.
Yeah.
But
So
Jack 10 of spades.
So Brian's wondering, does Zach have King Queen? Does Zach have pocket queens? Which seems weird. Does Zach have pocket threes? It also seems unlikely.
And you're expecting to check back Ace Queen.
Exactly.
So you're kind of almost like a spot where you're calling for a chop with Ace King, and you're blocking yourself.
Yeah. And he does call.
Yeah. It is a bad spot.
He sensed it. He suspected it, but the way the hand played out is just all bad for Brian. Rough.
And
so Brian's the first victim of the $100 straddle.
Yeah, 5, 10, 100.
Jeez.
And that is a 12K pot.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8, I agree. Zach's range has to be thin because he flatted $500 pre-flop. I just feel like he is capable of doing this with...
He is capable. I just, once again, I would... It's a tough spot for Brian.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'd almost really feel like you're either check folding the same hand, or you'd be calling off for a chop, which we hate as well.
Right.
Because it's hard for him to deal with.
You're hoping he shows you a
queens, but he would probably fold Ace Jack. Would he even call? I mean, that.
It has to be a hand that's beating you, a hand that's tied, or a bluff.
And it's hard for him to have bluffs because it's hard for him to call.
It's never Ace Queen.
It's never Ace Queen. Does he even flat Jack? I mean, the hard on I got for Jack 10.
Like Jack 10 suited, Jack 10 of spades is the only hand that
would he flat 500? Would he play Jack 10 suited?
Right.
I mean, for 500 pre.
It does just feel like
Ace Jack. Yeah,
it just feels like queens,
and Brian had the Ace of
King
Brian.
Queen.
Yeah. Brian had the Ace of Spades in his hand, so Ace Jack of Spades isn't even an option. Reno Grinder, we were playing 5, 10, 100, and you just missed a 12K pot, brother. Oops.
But welcome.
Yeah. So round of straddles.
Better late than never.
Angry
round
Pollock.
Of $100 straddles.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be V straddles, but everyone's just putting in a white chip,
yeah,
so
it's
not like
hard to V straddle a single chip.
Hard, yeah. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this limped around, yeah. Oh, limped around, yeah. Ace, King, 7, 2 hearts, misses everyone, checks around. Guys, there's $300 in the pot. Someone bet.
Free money.
And Nat and Brian turn a pair. Checks around again. Jack on the river. Nat and Brian are gonna chop it unless AD decides to blast it. And they are. They chop up AD's hundo.
Easy money.
Ace the game.
I agree, 678. He's way more valuable. It's just really hard for him to find any kind of bluffs that he, with the pre-flop action, to have a lot of bluffs in his range.
Yeah.
Especially because Brian is blocking. Brian has ace spades in his hand.
Yeah, he can't have ace jack spade spade.
Yeah.
That's what he's blocking. Like one of the only
Rational
bluff
bluffs,
hands.
yeah.
10 jack of spades should not be flatting 500 pre-flop.
Yeah. Any like pocket three. I mean, when we're losing the threes anyway. But I mean,
Even threes, he's
even
probably
threes,
just
probably just like cold folding threes.
So it's like queens or nothing.
Yes.
But there's not a lot of nothings.
Oh, nothing.
I don't know. Jacks, tens
Jacks.
that just decide to
That's
like,
it.
barrel it.
The one thing is don't underestimate Zach. Zach is capable of taking a couple jacks there.
Exactly.
And saying I can get you off
Exactly.
off of one pair.
Yeah. Wow. Ace is slow played. What the fuck am I talking about? Sorry.
Biff Stephenson, welcome.
Oh man. Wow.
Yeah. So Harlan, out of the small blind, makes it 300 to go with a jack 3 of hearts. Welcome to the game.
Wow.
And
so
Nat-
I folded to him, and he made it 300?
And Nat was looking him up for a minute there with a 9 tray.
But he was dominated, so he folded.
Do it, Tom.
Do it, Tom. Get him.
Tom's gonna let go of the old Queen Dewey, reluctantly.
Oh, sickness. Still with the, so 5, 10, 100 right now. $100 straddle in play.
Come on, get your live 100. Get your live straddle.
Welcome to Sacramento. Welcome to Stones.
Ellar, I don't know. I thought about asking her husband. I mean, he might go out with me.
Yeah, you can't come in. You can't come in now. Gotta pay to play.
He does love you.
I love me some George. George is the best.
Oh man, that was so sick.
What a game. It's, you know, we talk about, you know, like people try to say poker's dead, and we talk about, you know, the room and Stones and how crackerjacks the games still get here at times. And you know how big and how crazy the 1-3 plays and this and that like that, and you see it here. I mean, it's just a little 5-10, you know, that's rolling, you know, 200-300 base deep. That all of a sudden turns
Just a
into a
5-10er.
5-10-100.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden
With 12K
everyone
pots.
has like 5K in front of them.
Yeah.
And
Chips.
yeah, chips. 12K pots, no big deal. Super standard. Looks like Zach is going to raise this to 270.
And there we are debating, like, what would Zach call Jack 10 in spades? Would he put 500 in pre with Jack in spades? 270 with King Queen, like.
Right? I mean,
Well, that's a 2.7x open. It's different, but I mean, at the same time,
yeah.
yeah, Sack poker is very much alive.
Oh man.
It's like 2006 never went out of style.
Seriously though. What was I gonna say?
Seriously.
Oh yeah, the poker is dead thing.
Yeah.
You know, people say that because it's like,
I mean, I might not. I mean, nothing might ever be like what it was.
right?
You know, when poker was
Why
crowned.
is poker dead? Because there's so many resources online that people can use.
The
and-
bottom's gotten
and
better.
there's,
I
like,
mean,
and there's some games that play like pretty snug and nitty, but
I don't play every game.
there's still there's
No, there's still a lot of juice out there.
And enough people that don't feel like looking up the internet resources. It's still good.
Yeah, I heard the jury was still out on science. So.
Yeah, and the internet's really hard.
Yeah.
So.
So here we have Matt making it 250 to go with King Queen off out of the hijack. Nat's gonna flat with 6s. I'm sure he'd like to be a little bit deeper. Stack sizes are correct. Nat's a little shallow to be set mining here, but he is in position. He might feel that there's some boards he can take the pot away from.
It looks like Peter is doing something here. Me. Okay, it looked like he was thinking about raising and he just called with 6-7. Oh.
So here we go.
Flops open-ended. Wow.
Oh, here we go, and this is what we're talking about. Nat's not just playing, she's not just trying to farm 2 outs here. He feels there's certain boards that he's best on, certain boards that he can take the pot away from. And what he doesn't like here, he can't like Peter overcalling. He's got to be really worried that Peter has a strong ace here.
Wow.
Disco-ish. Nat turns open-ended. Peter makes a pair to go along with his open-ended draw. They're now drawing to the same straight.
Wow.
And it's going to be hard for Matt to double barrel here. If he does it, it probably works.
Double barrel.
And Nat stuffs it.
Wow.
And if you're Peter, you can't call. How much is it? There's 1,800 in the pot, 1,100 to
Jams
call.
1,100.
He might be deeper than that. If we get another look at Nat's stack.
Actually, maybe he is deeper than that. I thought he had some whites and maybe a couple.
That is a disco card. For Nats, that's a disco card. That is a disco card. That's all the motivation he needed. His hand improved.
I mean,
and Nat's got a lot of two pair hands here.
He can get flush draws to fold. He can get weak aces to fold. You can get lots of better hands to fold.
Once again, if Nat can have pocket 6s here, he can have pocket 8s, 5s, 7s. And if he can call.
It's pretty sick that Peter has the best hand with a pair of 7s. And
he's got the sickness.
You know?
And there's Nat. He's not just farming 2 outs.
I mean, he just picked a really good spot there, and it's just gonna work.
Show the 6. He ain't gonna do it. He ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, it looked like he has. There's at least 1,500.
At least 1,500.
Yeah.
And this spot, like you said, I mean, if you can have 6s there, you can have 5s, 8s, or 7s, and even the 7, he can still have a 7 because if he's willing to float ace, 8, 5 with pocket 6s, he can have 7s there. He can ping turns. Poker happens.
Yeah.
It's Nat. A lot of bad news stories.
Nat. There are a lot of possibilities.
He's got hands.
What were you gonna say? A lot of bad beat stories
start with something insane with Nat, and it was like, yes, you were.
That's so good. Disco-ish, yeah.
Disco-ish.
That's
Poker Pro Eric.
That's a new one.
No, that's disco. No, I knew exactly what it was.
No, he knew.
I knew. That's the card that Nat was looking for.
You have to adjust, the definition of disco for different players.
Correct. Nat probably felt he was getting.
Correct.
He probably felt he was getting Peter off an ace there.
Right.
More than anything. He's not worried about Peter actually have the best hand.
And then Matt could actually have a wider range there with
And he can have better. He can have 10s, 9s, jacks maybe.
Pairs, yeah. And Matt's pretty much never checking the turn with like a set or really, nutty hand.
No.
So, good spot. 994, a couple hearts. AD with the best hand here with his overs. And we definitely see people battling a little more in these $100 straddled hands.
Yeah,
that's weird.
It's funny because a lot of players will go the other way, and okay, I'm shallower, or it's more money, and so they'll tighten up. And these guys are going the other way where they're like, oh god, look at all the money I can win.
Look how amazing that is. Look at his straddle right now.
Yeah.
He rakes in the pot and then he just puts the stack forward.
Sick.
That looks way cooler than when they just put the one
chip
white
in.
chip. I love it.
It's a much more formidable looking straddle.
Oh my gosh. That was crazy. Angry Pollock gets mad when I defend you.
She's just jealous.
Jelly! Don't hate Veronica, just get down here. Get in the booth with us.
I think earlier we mentioned Daniela taking 10th in that HPT warm-up event over Reno, and I believe it was Mr. Adam Bishop, our Reno grinder, that took the thing down.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What, that same event?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Crusher.
Very good, congratulations.
Peter makes it 350 to go with the ace-10 off. AD is going to defend the straddle.
Nice. Dr. Wriggles, what's up? Yeah, Zach flatted. Yeah, there's a $100 straddle. Ace of King made it 500. He flatted queens on the button, flopped a set, king queen flop. Got max value.
The mucho.
The mucho.
Peter's gonna c-bet. AD's got a gut shot.
I feel like Peter should be
spades.
getting credit for this.
That's 5 1/4.
Oh wow. I mean, he has to fold or shove, right? He can't just call.
Do a stop and go.
I suppose you could call and jam a lot of turns.
It'd almost be more credible though if you with a stop and go, because I mean, you might get looser calls. I mean, because you want to fold here if you're 88 and you decide to get it in.
I just feel like
he's gonna call.
with Peter's
Because I mean,
range of betting 525 here, like he's usually calling, right? And that does improve him. Oh no, sorry, I thought he had ace-3.
It's a better card for 80 than it is for Peter's range.
Yeah.
Peter's gonna go ahead and dry bluff it, not knowing that he's ahead.
I mean, why doesn't he just put them all in here?
If you're getting,
It's the same thing, right? But
he stuck it in.
oh, he did.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Peter
I thought
shoved-
he just bet like
Peter put it in.
500. I was
Nah,
like,
he stuffed
seems
it.
weird.
If Peter feels he can get a fold, he can get a pair of fives, pair of fours to fold. The hard part is the 6 improves a lot of those hands.
Right.
I mean, we know Peter's ahead. I don't love the shove here. Actually, with that card coming off, I think it would have been great if 80 would have done the stop and go there and check called. Did check shoving?
Was 80 in position there?
No, 80 was oh, Peter was in the small blind.
Oh yeah.
Oh, never mind, that makes more sense. Okay.
Huh. So then I really feel like 80 should have just folded or shoved the flop.
Yeah, I'm much more on board with that. I think
I feel like it's pretty tough to shove there with, you know, it's a 3x shove. I feel like most of the hands that Peter's leading 525 on that board,
and
he's not folding.
I know
so.
Peter was in the small one. I don't know, just kind of looking at the hand, for whatever reason I was thinking that Peter was on the button
11, please.
or in the hijack, which totally changes around the ranges and the dynamics of the hand. Peter raising that with that sizing out of the small blind and then going bet. It's, you know, very, very different.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I think we both thought that it was reversed.
Yeah, because life's hard.
Life's hard. There's a lot of white chips flying around. There's like white things on the board. It's hard to see the button sometimes.
So it is a round of $100 straddles. Brian limps in 100, 9, 10 off. He's got the sickness, and we love him. Peter limps 100 on the button. And what is Matt going to do here versus 2 limpers with the King Jack offer under the gun?
Jack offer.
AD comes along ace 5, and Matt says, never mind, I don't want to play big pot out of position against these Riley oldsters. Brian flops the best of him, it's pair 9s. I'm sorry, no, check that, Peter, top.
Top.
Matt riffling
Brian's
white
in here
chips.
too. So Brian also flops top pair. He might think it's good. He's gonna.
He can
put
get
in a
value
little
from
bit
straight
here.
and flush draws.
Yeah.
And I like check calling a lot too, but then again.
But he only has Peter behind him, so I mean.
Yeah. Not a lot of good turn cards for you.
Yeah.
Peter makes call 260. 80 and Matt can't call. 80 can bluff. I love it.
What?
I love it.
AD getting that camera time. It was
Milk
worth
and chicken. Diamond.
5 of diamonds might slow down the action here.
Check, check.
That's what I would expect.
Check. And there's some check.
King on the river, probably just check, check. Brian shakes his head. So we got Eric Mailman in there, seat 5.
Chip it.
Love me some Mailman.
Here's a look at our stacks, and this is a 5-10 game. Getting what, close to 30K on the table?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have added on, so these stacks are getting pretty deep. I mean, it makes sense when you change the big blind from 10 to 100.
Yeah, you just want to like increase the stakes 10x, yeah.
Just 10x only. Everyone just quadruple your stack. Let's go.
What a game, what a lineup.
Oh my.
Hats off to a JFK Stones TD putting together this mess.
Right?
If any of you guys want to get in the game, hit them up.
Seriously. Seriously, guys.
So I believe that was that a round of $100 straddles?
Yeah, it's supposed to be one round. Was that it?
I think that was it.
Over?
Yeah, I think because Harlan got stuff started
all the fun over?
originally. It was over, yeah, that's it. So now we're back to 5-10, and all the game's gotten a lot deeper now.
Yeah, it's still gonna be crazy, I'm guessing.
King 10 deuce. Harlan flops the best of it with his pair of kings. Nat's got backdoor straight, backdoor diamond draws, and position. Harlan, if you fold, I will thank you. I saw him take the chip
So you
off,
just check
off the
raise?
cards, yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. Diamond. Nat floated 9-5 of diamonds on King Deuce 10 1 diamond. Picks up his diamond draw.
Wow.
And Harlan, who decided to play a bigger pot out of position with one pair, is now going to barrel the turn, it would seem.
Jake, that sounded super judgmental.
I'm not.
I love inflating pots out of position. Are you kidding? And Nat has to call because he improved. River's a 9.
The Queen Jack gets there. Oh, and
Wow,
Harlan checks.
Check snap calls.
Check snap call, Jesus.
Ah! Oh my god. I was like, yeah, Harlan had 1,700 left. Oh, Harlan, what a beast. That just happened so fast.
Like, done. Wiedemann's, Zach, when you start thinking Zach had about 6K in front of him, I imagine he bought in for between 4 and 5. He played a monster pot when we did the round of $100 straddles. Flopped a set of queens versus ace king on a king queen board. But yeah, the game's rolling deep, and Nat.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, and Nat knew what he was doing there. Nat feels like Harlan's gonna have mostly one pair type hands.
Yeah.
Oh, and I mean, Harlan check raised the flop. But then if he check raise flop, why would he be checking river with anything other than one pair like semi bluff? I mean, the queen jack. I mean, you might queen jack's one hand that I'd be worried about. He might check raise queen jack, bet check raise.
But he's never checking the river when he
Harlan, yeah.
with queen jack.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know, so it's
weird.
like hard for like. I mean, if you're.
I mean, I think Nat correctly identified it as like a one pair type hand.
Because he checked river.
The problem is he overestimated.
So I can clearly not choose the wine in front of me.
The ability to bluff Harlan off of one pair. I mean, I think Harlan just had a sick read there. Like he expected Nat
like
to bluff
no hesitation.
when he checks the river.
No hesitation.
So sick. I feel like those two players just know each other very well, you know, and there's a lot of leveling going on, I think.
Well, they swap 50% action before the game. No, it's a joke.
Same.
Like, you just want to put some really messed up pots?
Dude.
Sure.
For the stream. For the stream. $50 pre-flop here. Queen 6-4 rainbow flop. Brian flops top. Turns top 2. Not much else for anyone. Nat turns a straight draw. Harlan has a pair. Harlan's busy stacking all those chippies. Nat's gonna check call with his straight draw. Wow. We gotta write that hand down too. Bee! Woo-wee!
Hey, yeah.
Oh man, craziness. So we got 12K stacks, 6K stacks, racks on racks on racks. So the game was 510 100, back to 510 50.
510 50, 510 20, 510 160.
510 50 160. Super standard.
So I'm looking at that straddle. Is that a straddle or an open there from Tom? I thought I saw a white chip.
So it's 50 to call. Oh, it's a $50 raise from Tom. I think that's a green and some
Oh, it's a
red.
green.
Brian calls with ace-7 suited.
So it's 510 50 to go.
Was that a straddle?
There's a $50 straddle from Tom,
okay,
who now
nice.
flops diamonds.
All right. If you're gonna straddle and have 9 deuce suited, you know what I mean, flop a flush draw. Barrel. And no one else with anything here. And that's gonna get through. Nice straddle, Tom.
Love it.
Very nice. What did Nat have that hand against Harlan?
King queen off.
No. Nat.
Oh, what did Nat have? 9-5 diamonds.
Oh, that's right.
On King 10 4. One diamond. King 10 6?
King 10 4.
King 10 X.
Something 9.
King 10 X 1 diamond.
And then a 9, yeah. Okay.
Turn diamond. Yeah.
Some crazy hands tonight.
Right? We're gonna get all these hands back to
Still-
Bart, and he's just gonna sort of like.
Yeah. Brain exploding.
So.
I still feel for Brian, man.
Yeah, it's just a cooler.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
6 spot. I mean.
It's pretty hard to fold. Let's just not talk about it anymore.
Speaking of Zach,
About it later.
it's a $50 straddle, and Zach makes it 150 to go with the ace jack off. Harlan, ace queen, puts in the call. Nat is no mood to fold, and he flats ace 7 of hearts. Brian, getting laid $1 million to 1, flicks in the chip with a 7-3 of clubs.
He's suited.
7-3 king.
Bottom 2 again. Oh,
No one's got a king.
no one has a king.
No one has diamonds.
Nat has middle pair with backdoor
Backdoor
hearts.
hearts.
I don't see him folding this flop.
Check
Checks
through.
around.
Harlan now makes second pair. Brian
Checks
checks
around to
again.
Harlan, and he bets 300.
Harlan wouldn't check king queen on that flop.
So
Brian's
No.
gotta love this.
yeah, he's got to raise, right?
Yeah, you gotta.
He's got 1,000 in front of him. Harlan makes it 300. There's 910 in the pot.
Just stuff it.
Yeah, I mean he has like a pot-sized bet, right?
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom. Get it in.
Where you flatten and then open jam river.
Eh.
No,
All
you stuff
in,
it.
yeah,
There
I was
you go.
gonna say. I think we just get it in there. Against Harlan, he might call with ace queen.
check-
Diamond.
check raise turn
straight
might-
draw, flush draw, something like that.
Once again, okay, so I'm gonna level and overthink myself.
Okay.
Check raise turn is gonna look a lot stronger. It's gonna have a lot more value than if
Folds
you check.
face up.
Folds face.
Brian
Yeah.
shows like a 7, I think.
If, I mean, honestly, it'll probably be results oriented, but like, I think if Brian flats there, and as long as he can fade a diamond coming off, not because he's afraid that Harlan might have diamonds, but because he doesn't want a diamond to come off to his action, he might want it to look like a busted diamond draw, and then stuffs the river. Maybe, I mean, I'm just, offering another line here. I mean, you're expecting, if you're check raising there, you need Harlan to have a stronger hand to call you. Then I think if you just call and then stuff river. I think Harlan doesn't need to be as strong to call.
I think
to
there's
call
I think
a river
enough
jam?
worse hands that would think about calling that sizing
I mean, with the money in the pot, I mean.
with the draws.
But then again, just let me overthink myself here.
You can overthink it, but I'm just
But
gonna argue with you.
But it's wrong, Jake. That's the point. Like, I love it.
Brandon, 5-10.
You're not wrong. You're
Just not right either.
Big Lebowski quote. Big
Yeah.
Lebowski. Gotta love it.
Here we go.
Dudes. And
Ship it to
Eric,
mailman.
Mailman. That's why they call him mailman. You just ship it to
Ship
him,
it.
you know? What?
And Nat checks back the king. I like to check back with the king 10 there.
Nice. Sneaky Nat. Brian's gonna lead the turn.
David F.
With 9s.
David.
He's hoping someone might have made
See
an
what
8.
Eric decides to do here. He's gonna put in a raise. 450 looks like. About 450, maybe.
Raise to 400.
400.
He
Just,
says yes. And
Min
Nat
click. Min click.
is going to overcall here with
Nat
top pair.
calls. Wow.
And Brian calls. Quads! It's a lot of goddamn 3s.
Dude, it must be nice to be mailman. Just come into this big game.
And poor Nat's like, it's either quads or
Flop
it's
a
quads or nothing.
set, get action, river quads, get action. Oh me, oh my.
Nat
Bet 300?
snaps.
Ducky for the 5-7 win. John.
I mean,
He's got more than that back.
he bet 200.
No, he did not. Was he trying to induce Nat to raise?
I'm confused.
Eric should have made this look like a blocker bet.
Oh my gosh. That's so sick.
He's hoping that Nat might have had busted hearts and it might raise a blocker bet.
And
Is he- and he's
Brian's
gonna
thinking
Brian.
about, oh, he bet 200 and,
Wait.
oh,
Wait, what? How's the action still open? Oh,
he was joking.
okay.
That was a classic Eric the Mailman slow roll. Classic. Love it. He bets 200 and gets both of his opponents to call.
So that's gotta be
it's the same
his
thing
logic.
if he bets 400, Nat calls and Brian folds.
If he's
It's the same exact thing.
Trying to make it look like a defensive bet, hoping that maybe
Try to get Nat to
maybe
step
got
into
busted
there,
hearts.
yeah.
Or maybe Nat gets greedy with a king queen and like raises and tries to get value from king jack. It makes it. Let's say Nat has like king queen there, but he maybe no, because Eric's never raising the turn with king x. Never mind, I'll stop now. But as far as they're trying to get value, like one pair of value hands, but if Nat, let's say if Nat had like busted hearts there, I gotta imagine that's Eric's logic here. I'm gonna probe small, bet small, make it look like a blocker bet. Although I don't know if that makes a lot of sense with the check, the flop, raise the turn line.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of weird.
So I can clear and choose the wine in front of you.
But I mean, since it was 3 ways, I feel like you should expect one of your opponents to have a king you know, and they're probably calling a decent sized bet. So
I concur.
I don't love the 200, but whatever.
I mean, I love that he's getting creative, but I agree with you.
it's
I think
creative,
I prefer some larger size.
And I think it is because specifically against Nat, like Nat's capable of bluffing against blocker type bets, especially against Eric, who, you know, generally plays tighter.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8. I would not expect this game to end anytime soon.
King 6 deuce. Brian flops top 2. Yeah, this one's gonna be going for a while.
And AD's putting in some money with a Jack 8 of diamonds.
Cause why not?
Because he hasn't played a hand in a while. I mean,
Your graphics are on now.
little image exploitation here. It's funny to say that from AD.
Right, that was like actually made me laugh. It's almost like you're making a joke, but you're kind of not.
That's kind of, I'm merging my commentary.
Nice merge there.
And Brian check raises here, top 2. And AD's like, Jesus, I haven't played a hand in like forever. I put some money in the pot.
Try to steal one pot with Jack high and it just doesn't work. Oh man. This would be a good night for overtime, huh?
Yeah. Purple's poker. Ripping a blocker bet doesn't matter because unless someone has ace king, they aren't raising for value. Raising king jack value is 2 things. Yeah, I take that back. Yeah, he's never raising king queen king jack for value.
No,
after considering the turn action.
I think it was more to induce bluffs.
Yeah, you're inducing
from, like,
bluffs from a very aggressive player.
Yeah.
From busted hearts, yeah, but that's it. But like long term, I agree with more. You make more money trying to get calls from kings than you do trying to induce bluffs from busted hearts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can even bet like the pot was huge. I mean, he could have got.
He raised to 400 on the turn and got 3-way action.
Yeah, he could have put a pretty nice sized value bet on the river and got called by a lot of kings. Tank X wants 30 more minutes.
Nat makes it 125 to go, pocket 8s.
And it must be good to be Eric, you know?
I got quads, I got kings, I got chips in hand, and I'm going to bet him.
He runs good.
So pure. So pure.
He always has it, and then he always shows me bluffs. I don't know why. I don't get it.
And Nat's in no mood to fold.
30 more minutes for the kids.
Queen 5-6, 2 spades. Eric had 3-bet to 380 pre, and now on a queen high board.
Jeez.
He bets 500.
How much did he make it pre-flop?
380.
What?
It's a 125 open with 8s.
Wow.
3-bet to 380, lead 500. Nat thinks better of it, lets it go.
Crazy.
You can't name it more talented. Well,
That was pretty funny. Master C. Man, that round of $100 shallows was off the heezy.
And it's so funny, like we were talking about, because it's so oftentimes, unfortunately, goes the other way, where people that just can't stomach those stakes, you know, or that sudden jump in stakes, you know.
Right, yeah.
It's one thing if you come in prepared, like, okay, I'm gonna play, you know, a 5100 or a 2550 game tonight.
Yeah.
You come in prepared to play 510, next thing you know, you're playing with $100 blind. Yeah, exactly. It's that sudden jump in stakes where people, you know, oftentimes can't change gears and loosen up and play aggressively enough to play winning poker, and not these guys. They got just enough things going wrong in their life where they can go and put in some chips in the pot.
They're like, yeah, I might get coolered for a 12K pot, but you know, it's life.
And Zach's explaining the logic right now why don't put the hoodie all the way on. He's like, no,
and
halfway
Eric,
up the head, it's GTO.
Eric just has 10s now.
Jesus.
Makes it 150. AD calls with King Queen. And he just flops top set.
He's gonna show you a bluff later.
I
You know he's gonna show
know
you
he
a bluff
is.
later.
I know he is. And I'm. So dumb. He seriously runs really good.
It's not even real.
It's not real.
It's not real.
No way. How does he always have bluffs against me? I don't understand.
Jack on the turn and 80's open-ended.
Alright, we won't speak too soon.
There was one ace and one
He
9
got
folded
really
free.
small on the flop, right?
He did. Slicing top.
He kept AD in there, and now AD turns open-ended. Just gonna blast it now, right? 400, 420.
It'd be harder for 80 to get paid off if the 9 comes off.
Yeah, he's gonna bet.
If the ace comes off, it'd be a really good card. It's gonna be hard for Eric to put him on the king-queen.
Yeah. He bets tree fitty.
80 quickly calls. King
on the
baller.
river, that might be bad for AD. I would expect AD to be trying to check call here, right? He thinks he's trapping him.
Did 80 just jam?
No, I think he checked. I feel like he wants to check call here. Right?
Yeah, 80 checks.
Eric's gonna be pretty careful with the sizing here.
750.
Bets exactly half pot.
And more
you
importantly,
see,
he bets
that's-
3/4 of 80's stack.
Exactly. Feels
No,
like he
80.
wants a call, right? Real bad, maybe?
A lot. He wants a lot of call. Like real bad, maybe.
Yeah.
80's playing the sand back.
Yeah.
He knows he rivered probably a bad card.
I think he likes that river until Eric bets 750.
There's the bet 950.
No quad? Disappointed.
80 makes the call.
He's pissed. He is not happy. What? He's like really angry.
It looks like 70. The graphic shows 950. I'm pretty sure it's 750. That's what it looks like.
Looked like 750.
It's 750.
Yeah.
Mailman.
Mailman. No one likes to give mailman money.
I thought you were going to finish off like, no one likes No one likes Eric. You run that good and
No, look, I see him like run amazing, only shows bluffs to me. I still like the guy.
No.
Can't help it.
No, he's a good person.
I don't like to give him money though.
No.
That's for sure. Yeah, he's one of those people that just tilts people.
So it looks like the $50 straddle is still live. So 5, 10, 50.
Hold on, what?
Marco.
Como? $50 straddle? And AD is out for vengeance. And Eric seriously just sat in this game and just like
Crushed.
quadrupled up.
Quads, kings, sets.
Wow. Jeez. So Tom made it 125. AD and Harlan call with spades. Ace 9 6 checks around. 4 of hearts on the turn. Tom's gonna bet it now with Queen High. Queen High good.
When I get
Bluff with the best hand.
Brett and Cal ask, what path moving up, and how do you get better, and resources you utilize. A lot of good stuff online, 2+2, run it once, things like that. There's some good books, a lot of bad books. For me, honestly, it was finally getting in the click and kind of the poker community and finding players that were better than me. And balancing hand, playing hands, talking hands through with a lot of players.
Right, even just like recalling hands, writing out hands, thinking about hands, talking to other people.
Not being results oriented about hands. Not like, oh, well, this happened, so I should have done this.
Yeah.
A lot of players just like they just don't ever get over that. Oh, you know, well, he got there, so I should have shoved pre.
And to go with that, I would say, you know, you can't ignore like the mental game of poker part.
Yeah.
The emotional, all that.
Peter makes it 165 to go with jacks. Zach wakes up kings, puts in a 3-bet, and 80 is gonna stuff it. Ace-8 of clubs.
Looked like a pretty big 3-bet. 525.
5 1/4.
Okay. And AD just gets it in there with Ace-8 suited. 225.
J27, the true OD, he's got it right. Best way to improve is to run like mailman. You cannot be.
Yeah, run your bankroll up.
Peter calls 360 more with jacks.
Yeah.
So it's one player all in, heads up on the side, jacks versus kings. 5-7 jack. Peter flops
Wow. I was gonna say, I don't know if they're like deep enough to be set mining with jacks, but.
Well, once he opened 160, it would cost him 400 to call.
Yeah.
So that's how deep was Peter? 3K back.
It's close.
It's
you
close.
also have some dead money in there. Well, not dead money, but you have AD's money in there.
Yeah, a little overlay from the shove.
So, not the most coordinated board. Rainbow. Zach's got to feel pretty good about this flop, yeah?
Yeah, I mean,
Until Peter goes crazy.
Until Peter doesn't fold for 3 streets.
By the 3rd street, you should be a little nervous.
Queen.
Wow. Peter checks again.
Queens are in Zach's range.
Yeah.
Peter, instead of going for check raise, Peter might now actually be thinking about check calling.
And if you're Zach, yeah, I was gonna say, he probably wants to check back here, see what happens on the river. 9 of diamonds on the river. So 10-8 got there.
Hard for Peter to have the 10-8, but yeah.
King 10 should not be a possibility. Zach has 2 kings in his hand.
And this is a really bad board for Zach's kings. Peter would not do this with 10s.
Especially when Peter leads the river.
Would Peter do this ace-queen? The only hand you're beating here is ace-queen.
Right, exactly. I feel like if Peter had ace queen,
he'd be more inclined to check call.
Check call or lead small maybe.
And would he?
And Zach does fold kings here.
Great fold by Zach. The moment
He didn't
Peter,
like that turn.
Peter would not have. I don't feel like Peter would have check called ace queen on jack 5-7.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good fold, Zach.
Yeah, very good fold.
Sniff that one out.
Well, Zach has played very well.
Zach's a stud. He's the best.
What a beast. What a beast.
A lot of players would have lost more money
Yeah, definitely.
in that pot. A lot of players would have bet turn and or called river.
Yeah.
One of the two. Zach manages to put in 1 c-bet, check back and fold with an overpair.
Talk about losing the minimum.
The way the board was, coordinated with the pre-flop and flop action, it's really hard for kings. It's a really bad board for kings, the way the action goes. But a lot of players lose more money there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hats off to Zach. You don't run up 12K stacks for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, the queen's hand he played was beautiful too.
Yeah, queen on the turn definitely helps slow down. And then once something, 9 river, I mean.
Yeah.
So Harlan 3-bets to 205 out of the small blind. Or no, he raised it to 205. It's a $50 straddle.
Oh, okay.
Call 50, open to 205, and Nat is gonna flat. And on ace 5 deuce, all hearts, Brian flops the world here. Nat's got top.
Oh my gosh.
Harlan's got backdoor hearts, but Brian.
Who put in the straddle? It had to have been Tom.
Right? And then Brian just limped in the 6 tray.
Brian just called the 6-3 suitor.
That or maybe Tom sat out and Brian straddled.
Oh, okay, that would make more sense.
That would make more sense.
See. Nat bets 225. Brian calls with his flush. Deuce on the turn. Shouldn't scare Brian too much.
Nat can still get value in his mind from 1 heart
Yeah.
hands.
Or
Also other
worse,
ace-X.
Worse aces.
I would expect Nat to bet here. If the graphics right, Nat only has 670 behind in an $1,100 pot.
Yeah,
He can
I
just
would
open
expect
jam.
it to get in here.
It looks like he's got more than that though. So
if
I see
he leads
5,
here, Brian
6,
has
7,
to
8.
ship
So
it.
Nat's got more than
He
that.
doesn't want a heart to peel off.
All in.
Against Nat, he has to just get it in. Yeah.
There it is. Nat stuffs it.
Wow.
Dead to an ace or a deuce. Can't get there.
And that's why you play 6-3 suitor. For
And I,
$200 pre-flop. Oh man, what a game.
I enjoy long walks on the beach and defending city connectors.
To the death. To the death.
The game's got swings.
Oh man.
This game has swings.
Zach with 11K, Peter 5K. Eric Mailman sits in what, 40 minutes
Ish.
in this game and just makes
some
4K
souls.
or something.
And that's
Super
our show, you
standard.
guys. And you're welcome.
Yeah.
Wow. What a mess.
Amazing.
Jesus. Hats off to JFK Stone TD for putting together this lineup.
Seriously, amazing lineup.
Bob,
Sick
Kenny,
game.
Matt, Abraham, all the guys in the back.
Yeah.
What a game.
Excellent job.
What a game. And
Yeah.
Monday we're back to 5-5.
Yeah, 5-5 and Veronica and Friends Wednesday.
Oh, Jesus.
Barrels away.
Whee!
There are rumors that I might be playing.
Good luck.
And Cobra.
And Cobra.
And Veronica.
He's going to bluff. He's gonna
And what, Bray? I mean, it's gonna be crazy. Let's
I'm excited.
Be real. It was fun, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Click the heart, get notified, and barrels away.
Barrels away.
Good night,
Good
guys.
night.